Oh, 3, 2, boom! And we are back once again here at In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, the pride of the pilgrims, the most honest man in all of podcasting, and a damn handsome man to boot, Jack E. Jones, along with my right-hand man, my audio soulmate, and the enforcer of the Headyverse.
1-inch biceps. The power goat. Bah!
Yeah, show them the power.
What to do? The boss, baby.
Mm-hmm. Your video's not coming in there, buddy.
Oh, let me see if I can fix that.
No. Yeah, there we are. Now we can see the inch man. Boom! Here to talk about the wrestling.
Yeah.
You pumped?
Fired up.
You looking pumped?
I am pumped.
Yeah, you're getting the guns.
I
Hot
watched
damn.
all the wrestling.
Did you? You're Jimmy jamming it up over there, inch man.
Yeah.
Very proud of you.
AEW. I watched the Impact Wrestling.
Really?
I watched Zero WWE because that's sports entertainment.
Fuck that noise. Sorry for the late start. I was doing a podcast. I was on Shock Treatments with Mel and Maddie over on the Dorkening website. That will be up Friday. If you just can't hear enough of me, you can go and listen to me on the Dorkening on Shock Treatments with Mel and
I think once a week's enough for me.
I don't even know if once a day. This is the third time people are listening to me today. But that's what happens when you're a rock star.
Mr. Hollywood Jackie Jones.
Right. Maybe you'll find that out eventually. I got my FTR shirt on today.
Mm-hmm. I got my my Bootios.
Hell yeah, Bootios. That's sweet. I love that shirt. I have that same shirt, but it's too big for me now. Unfortunately. Yeah. Man. So you watch all the wrestling. You didn't watch that bullshit Impact?
I watched the greatest wrestling out there, Impact Wrestling.
I don't know about you, Inch Man. What do you see in this Impact? What was tickling your booty? What was tickling your fancy?
Let me tell you about the Impact.
All right. Was it impactful?
It was. The biggest impactful thing that happened was Johnny Swinger got kicked out of the arena. He wasn't allowed in.
Really?
So you know what he did? He wasn't allowed by
Johnny Swinger?
So you know what he did? He went backstage and he went through everyone's bag and he found the suicide outfit and he wrestled as suicide. The greatest.
Is any time right for a suicide character? But is right now a good time to be suicide?
If you're Johnny Swinger.
Johnny Swinger? He's still around? Where'd they pull him out of?
1997.
Jeez Louise. Even Clinton here, President Clinton in the chat room, he's like, who?
So, what's going on in Impact right now? They stripped their champion, Tessa Blanchard.
Now, this really happened. You could just make this up, and I wouldn't know because I've watched it in years. As far as I know, Johnny Swinger hasn't wrestled, in 25 years.
Before he found the suicide outfit, he found the Super Eric outfit, and he almost went for that one. But he ended up going to suicide.
How can you reference great moments in Impact when you're wrestling in Impact? Like, who is it? Is that if you're trying to gain an audience, you can't be like referencing something that no one watches.
Forget John Moxley. Forget whoever the sports entertainment does. Impact Wrestling has no champion. So they're going to have a four-way match to crown their champion. It's going to be Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards?
Eddie Edwards.
He's around? Not even the star of the team?
Not even.
Whatever happened to Davey Richards? Wasn't he the guy that everyone said was going to be like the future superstar?
I think he just packed it up and went home. So Eddie Edwards, the great Eddie Edwards, Trey from the Rascals, Ace Austin.
Who?
Exactly. And a mystery former TNA wrestler. They showed Kurt Angle. They showed Sting. They showed EC3. Who knows who it will be? One of
Let
those
me guess.
guys
Can I guess who the mystery guy was?
That's not happening. It's Slammiversary this weekend.
Oh, I see. So they haven't said. It's going to be like Sonny Siaki. That's my guess is Sonny Siaki. Or Irish Pat Kenny.
Since they showed Super Eric, I was thinking maybe Eric Young.
Could be foreshadowing. Scotty Wilkerson says, I haven't watched Impact in 3 years. Can you update him? What's happened in these 3 years?
He should get the Impact Plus, like I have.
What's that behind you? You got like get some cool toys there, and it's cool that you're showing a different side of your room tonight. You got the muscle guys. You got a JYD figure up there.
So I'll flip the camera.
Some Ludios.
Over here.
Oh yeah, JYD. That's cool.
Stardust. I got my JYD cereal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's when Hogan fought when Hogan fought JYD at WrestleMania. Or he's tagging with him.
He tagged with it.
Yeah.
This is my newest purchase. You inspired me.
Oh man.
Walmart.
I can't find that one. If you can find another one, Incher, grab it for me. I can only find 3.
They had a few. I can see one.
All right. I only found Triple H, Faker, Cena, and one and Demon Balor. It's the only ones I can find.
Who was the second one you said?
Triple H.
They had the Undertaker. They had the Rock.
Really? I need those. I need Undertaker and the Rock and New Day.
One more too.
All right. Well, I'll pay you for them. I'll PayPal you. It's not like I'm gonna just take them for free.
You can't get free stuff from me like you do Jason Minton.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're obviously not as cool as Jason Minton. Like, if it was like a cool person and a nice person, they would just buy them for me and send them to me. But you're obviously not. I mean, there's nothing against you. I'm not saying you're a bad guy. I'm just saying you're not as cool as Ms. Mitten.
I gotta admit that's true, so I can't really argue.
It's good to admit your faults. Like, it's a good manager. It's a good step in the right direction. It's a new insurer. I like it. New Power Goat. So what else happened on this Johnny Swinger-filled episode of Impact?
He wrestled Willie Mack for the X8 title because he was suicide.
Willie Mack?
Willie Mack.
Who the fuck's that? Is that... He used to be like Red Dog and ECW?
Lucha Underground. He's a JYD.
Man.
You know you're going to tune in when Trey from the Rascals is the new Impact champion.
Bad times. Bad times.
I'm drinking the Dad's root beer tonight.
Oh, that's the name of it. I thought you meant like you stole your dad's root beer.
No, my dad was beaten.
Yeah, that's not the Alky, is it? You didn't accidentally get not my grandpa's root beer. Okay.
I'm straight edge.
Big Daddy. Yeah, and it's a diet. I know you don't drink the real sugar anymore.
Calories don't allow it. I drink the diet.
You doing a good job staying under your 2,000 calories?
I am.
You're looking at it. I can see the improvements. You look especially buff this week, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and probably a little more handsome than normal.
Well, you know.
It's probably all that Johnny Swinger you're watching.
Johnny Swinger is the best. I hope he's the next Impact World Champion. I hope he's the mystery how they go back from the TNA days.
Every time I reboot my laptop, it resets the lighting. So I have to figure out, this time I took some pictures, but what bothers me, Incher, is I'm really tan this year. I'm like the most tan I've been since I was like a teenager. But because of the lighting, I look like I'm like from powder or something. I'm like incredibly bright.
Are you lighter than me?
Yeah, and that's not happening. I mean, I'm actually like olive skin right now. My Italian heritage is coming through, but you can't see it because I look like an albino or something.
You look like someone Victor Salva would cast in his next movie.
No, I'm not that young. I'm a youthful man, though. I doubt the facial hair would do it for him, especially the gray. Yeah, you're a young type, man. He might be into that. So Johnny Swinger, who else was on this? Has the ECW Musketeer showed up? The Buccaneer?
They do have Tommy Dreamer, so
Tommy Dreamer? He's still there?
he's still there.
Does this show happen in the past? Is this a new program, or are they showing like highlights from '97?
Yeah, they're at the point now where they're pushing the young guys that aren't.
The young guys, Tommy Dreamer and Johnny Swinger.
It's like a nice combination of young guys and over the hill guys. That's where Impact's at right now.
Man.
And Moose.
Intro, they're saying you're a little low.
Little low.
Yeah. I know you used to be the technical wizard of the show, but
yeah, let's see if we can fix that. That was back in the old VHS days.
Do you still have a working VCR on your tube TV?
I have a VCR. I don't know if it works.
Damn. Hot damn. If you guys want to zoom in tonight, you know the dealio. Which you probably don't, but.
So what wrestling did you watch?
I watched the back of those WWE, the Masters of the WWE Universe box to see like what other wrestlers I would like to buy. So I watched that. Yeah, exactly.
All four of those.
Really, I don't have any of those four.
Yeah, Braun Strowman was the other one.
I need them. Help a brother out. I have the ring. I bought the Castle Grayskull ring.
Yeah, they had that too. Apparently, there's a Steve Austin ring as well.
Yeah, I saw that afterwards, but they didn't have it anyway. But yeah, it's like, well, that one doesn't come out till September. It's like Steve Austin and Hulk Hogan. And it's not necessarily Steve Austin ring, Incher. If you know your Masters of the Universe, it's Snake Mountain ring, which was the place that they came after Grayskull. But they got an Austin with it because he's the rattlesnake, so it makes sense.
Bear with me here for a minute. I'm going to see if I can get my audio up.
It's all right. I know this Zoom is new to you, Inchman, but you'll get it working here eventually. I was happy this week because usually, Incher, when you try to join the show, you just start calling me on Zoom. And I have to tell you every week, like, you can't do that. You have to use the Zoom link. But I'm glad this was the first week I think I didn't have to tell you that, so that was good. Good to see. You're a good man.
I'm learning. I'm from West Virginia. You got to take your time with me.
West Virginia, yeah. Is Johnny Swinger huge in West Virginia?
Johnny Swinger is one of the biggest wrestlers in West Virginia.
Really? Man. Is he bigger than Heath Slater, though?
There's no wrestler bigger than Heath Slater.
Yeah, I've heard he is the pride of the WV. So I'm going to post this link for you, the Headyverse out there. If you would like to zoom into the show and talk with us, it'll be fun for the whole family. Which I probably don't recommend zooming into the show if you are a child. But why not? Whoa, look, we got Songman's to be joining us momentarily. Bear with me. I'm just posting to the Facebook page for everyone to join into In Your Head. Talk some Johnny Swinger, talk some Bernie Mac, and all the stars of Impact.
Finally, I get the In Your Head episode I've been waiting for. Impact Wrestling.
Well, I mean, I try to be a good guy and accommodate you, Incher. I don't think anyone can deny that. That's their show here tonight is to try to appease the Inchman and put him in a good light. All right. So here we go. We've got, let's see here. We've got Steven all the way up in Butler. He's like trying. What's he doing? Is he trying to like cast a spell on us? Playing patty cake? What's going on here? Are you a magician? Are you high? Are you on drugs or something?
In West Virginia, we burn people that do magic.
Whoa. Whoa. Careful, Steven. Your intro is going to burn you at the stake. Are you with us, Steven? I'm not hearing you if you're talking. Oh, you're muted.
Audio is muted.
Yeah, you got to unmute yourself. Maybe you're just going to try to mime the show. That could be that. Look, we're always breaking ground here on In Your Head. That could be the next step. It'll be a mime show, maybe charades, a charade podcast, where we'll just see and we'll be like doing stuff, and you have to guess like what's going on.
I mean,
what would your charades of Johnny Swinger be? We
started on VHS, and then we went to podcast, and then
Videocast
on Zoom. So we got to be ahead of the curve. We got to do what's next.
So what movements would you try to do to get us to think Johnny Swinger? Oh my Lord! Is that what he does? He's like dancing a jig.
It's a swing thing.
Good God!
When he was wrestling his suicide, he starts to do the can't think of the name of it, but the Johnny Swinger swinging neck breaker. And then he remembers, I'm suicide, so he stops so he doesn't give himself away.
What's the vibe of Impact? Is it just like a spoof of actual wrestling, or is this like supposedly like an actual program?
They do their best to pass it off as an actual program.
How would you compare Impact to the levels of like NWA Power?
Not as much obvious comedy, but there is a lot of comedy.
Is it just maybe not obvious comedy, but like a bad attempt at comedy? So it's not necessarily funny.
Yeah.
I know all about that.
They actually have wrestling, which Howard does not, though.
Really? Really?
They have minute-and-a-half long matches. So.
Steven, all the way from Butler, what do you think? What do you think about the resurgence, the resurrection, the return, the comeback of Johnny Swinger?
To tell you the truth, I haven't seen that guy on television.
No one has. He's on Impact.
That's probably why. That's probably why.
Feelings, guys.
Jack, is this guy beneath me here? Is this like
there's a guy beneath you?
Yes, this guy right here smiling into the camera. So has Stanley Kubrick come back from the dead? Songman, you're looking like Stanley Kubrick.
You know what?
I think so. I was wondering if that was me you mentioned. That will be going away, Steven.
Your beard's getting like big. You're like Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I know. That's what everyone says, and that's got to be true. I got to make sure it makes the whole way and make sure everyone has no hair anywhere, because this just isn't fair to be showing this on air.
Whoa. Steven, do you have no hair anywhere?
I approve of no hair anywhere.
Man.
I'm an Aboriginal. I grow my hair out. I can still grow hair. I mean,
Inchman,
are you getting mad here? Is that triggering you?
No, he can grow his hair.
All right.
I've gone with the shave. I'm happy with it.
Looking good.
Thank you.
Looking nice and tight there. I think you might need a little tan. Get the head out in the sun. Get a little tan, maybe.
Yeah, get a little sunshine on the chrome. I think it's the lotting, like you. You got the lotting problem.
It could be. Yeah. Maybe powder it, wax it. Boop, 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 boop. Songman, what's going on? Braun Songman.
Very good one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what's up? Happy Tuesday. Wait to be back in your head because there's a lot of stuff to get covered before we get ready for Extreme's heads.
Oh, I thought you were going to say there's a lot to get ready before we go to bed, but all right.
There you go.
What's going on? I'm out of the loop. What's going on this Extreme Rules? Is Johnny Swinger on the show?
Oh, yeah, well, I've not been catching up too much. I've not been catching anything what's going on with SmackDown, but caught a little bit of Raw. All I can recall so far is what we were talking about last week with this side match.
Yes, the side match. They want to know, Steven, do you have any thoughts on the Redskins changing their name and logo?
Well, it's about damn time, actually.
I agree. Just my personal take, I think if anyone is honest with themselves and you just think of the name Redskins, you have to think it's not a good name. Why would anyone have named I get the Braves and the Warriors and the Chiefs, but the Redskins, it's not even a term you wouldn't go up to someone who's a Native American and say, "Hey, Redskin." I mean, they would probably not be happy.
This is what you'll get.
Right. It's a very.
No, I have no problem. I have really no problem with most of those names, like just mentioned, like even Blackhawks, the Chicago Blackhawks. The thing was really offensive for the longest time were those logos, like Chief Wahoo with the Atlanta Braves, or the Cleveland Indians.
It's very over the top, stereotypical.
Yes, very stereotypical. And they did get rid of some of those. One of those teams stopped using that. I think it was Cleveland that stopped using that. The names were fine except Redskins. I mean, nobody's gonna, like you said, no one's gonna go up to an Indian and say, yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean, it's a really weird name if you just stop and think like I grew up, the name was around, so I honestly didn't think about it, But if you stop and just think about it, that is a very bizarre name to name a team, and it's very strange that it was ever that used, and I can see why. I'm surprised it's lasted this long, honestly.
Taking away all the sports teams that I don't like's names. Ah!
Oh man, Hinchard's getting pissed. He's getting all riled up over
Southerner in me coming out.
Man. Maybe they'll call them the Washington Swingers.
That I could get done.
Songman, do you watch Impact? Incher over here, he's loving Impact. He's watching.
I haven't been watching it in nearly 10 years, actually.
Yeah, I'm with you, Songman. He's talking about Bernie Mac was wrestling.
Swingers have?
What was that?
What kind of mascot would the Washington Swingers have?
They literally have Johnny Swinger. He'd leave Impact to become the mascot.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for this name change then.
Lexar, do you watch Impact? I know you're loving all the wrestling.
I used to. It was several years ago. The last time I watched Impact was in 2014.
Man. Incher, you're like the last guy. You're the last bastion of the Impact. The Impact crowd is you.
Lexar, I gave you your name. You're gonna have to go back to Impact.
Oh man.
Oh
man. Songman, what do you think about Incher tonight? He's looking good, don't you think?
Oh, I'm sure he's not going to be any better because he's never looked any better. Jones, would you do me a favor and please check the weather, because I think Inch is gonna get much better, because I'm sure he's gonna get Vic's little feather because it's made of leather.
Beautiful, beautiful. Vic, do you have your feather ready?
Nope, no feather tonight. So.
It's good to see you, Vic. Good to see everyone here. It's always fun to see everybody here on Tuesday night on In Your Head.
All the regulars are here tonight.
Exactly, the all-star lineup.
That's right.
I would like to know how Enter grew his beard so fast.
Just a manly man.
I just got a little stubble going on. I didn't shave today.
Nice. You're like Clue Gulager. Very manly man. I like it, though. I think it's a good look on you. And I've told you for years you're a ginger, and then you grow the beard, and it's clearly red.
It's hard to see it when I had hair on top because there wasn't much there.
Right. Well, it looks good on you. Like, it kind of looks like Sheamus.
Buff like Sheamus. And you're white like Sheamus.
I know. It's just the lights. It's not even that bright of a light. I just wear these because I think they look cool. But Vic Schiavone, do you watch Impact?
No, didn't watch any Impact this week. Saw some of AEW, saw some of Raw, but tuned in for SmackDown for about 2 minutes and saw a karaoke contest, and then I turned it off.
Who was singing?
Who was in the karaoke contest?
Let's see. It was
Me?
Tamina was one of them.
Melina?
The Southern gal,
Lacy Evans.
Lacy Evans. Yeah, she turned heel in the middle of it.
So she just turned in. Well, I just say turned because the last time I watched it, she was just baby face.
It was totally forgettable. Let's put it that way.
Man, this is a character, like, I never really liked the character, but it seems like they're just all over the place with her. Like, inexplicably babyface, even though she's still the Southern Belle, and then now she's a heel out of the blue. Very strange.
It just goes to show you that WWE doesn't know what to do with her. Most Tenet.
I think that her real character, her real personality, and her real story is very interesting and could draw people in. I think they should just drop the Southern Belle character. If you have an actual woman who fought in her military, fought in the war, and has come home as a war hero and stuff, why not just go with that? I mean, that's a character that's worked for years, and this time it would be real. It wouldn't be like you made it up.
Well, what's so surprising about that, Jackie? You know how big 19 was for her as a top heel, and then all of a sudden she's being brought down like most in the past. That's the turning face. So what's the big surprise about that?
Yep. It's Inchman taking like Spanish lessons over there.
How to get him in before the end of the day.
Not even paying attention to his own show. Do you believe this, Lexar?
It looks like he moved his basement too. He's got a new basement.
He just flipped the camera around so we saw the.
That was me. Yep.
Yeah, see, Songman knows.
Yep.
I'm talking about Incher.
Yeah, Songman's just agreeing with me. I think Songman's won't listen to another show, but Incher just flipped the camera around so we could see the other side of his room.
Yeah, Jack wanted to see my collection behind me. So.
Yeah, so he could see the wrestling stuff. More fitting,
More fitting, yeah.
Yeah. Steven, what was some of the highlights of wrestling for you this week?
Oh, so probably the best highlight of the week was AEW main event, Fyter Fest Night 2, Chris Jericho versus freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. One hell of a match, one entertaining match. I would say best match of the week, best match of the night.
Agree 100%.
So, Steven, did you watch the NXT Keith Lee versus Adam Cole match.
No, I didn't watch that one. Every Wednesday I'm watching one show, and
Good man.
yeah.
I saw the Twitter war with Kevin Nash and Jericho, and
Oh yeah.
talking about NXT's main event had better ratings than Jericho and Orange Cassidy. That's why I asked.
Yeah, it's weird because depending, like, if you go and listen to other people talk about this stuff, if you listen to like Cornett or something, this was like the biggest travesty in the world and like the worst match that could possibly be imagined. And then if you listen to somebody else, it's like the most fun match and a very good time. And I'm with the good time. I think it was an excellent match. I'm a huge Orange Cassidy fan. He's honestly my favorite current guy in wrestling. And just imagine this. If this had a crowd, an audience there, as fun as it was without the crowd, if this had a crowd, I think this would have really blown the roof off the place, and you'd have a legit superstar with Orange Cassidy because the crowd loves him anyway. And in there with Jericho, I think it would have been a big deal. And I know people are like, well, you can't push him as a legit wrestler, only a mid-card, comedy guy. I disagree. We live in a different era. Back in the 80s, there were people against pushing Hulk Hogan. They were like, you can't push Hulk Hogan. I mean, that's why they didn't even put the belt on him in AWA. Ole Anderson got rid of him because there was a thought that he was just this big guy, didn't have the wrestling skills. So he's not a guy that you can push, definitely not as champion. You can't even push a guy, according to some people. But wrestling evolves, wrestling changes. And some people could say it devolves. That's fine. Because there's a lot of people who didn't like Hulk Hogan in the 80s, and it wasn't the wrestling they liked. But to say he wasn't, and I'm not saying Orange Cassidy to be Hulk Hogan, don't get me wrong. But things change, and guys in different eras might not have worked in the previous eras. But a lot of stuff that worked in previous eras might not work in the current era. So if we were in the 80s, and you'd say, well, we can't push Hulk Hogan, we got to bring in, Bob Backlund, or we got to bring in Dory Funk Jr. and put the title on him. That stuff wouldn't have worked. If you had Dory Funk Jr. and I don't even just mean his age, but if you transported Dory Funk Jr. in his prime to 1985 and pushed him as the world champ, that would have never worked to the WWF audience. The WWF wouldn't have taken off. Things change, and the audience changes. There's literally no one. Maybe like some kids or someone in like the woods who thinks wrestling is legit at all. That's way out of the realm of anyone who watches the show. So you have to try new things. And a lot of people, I think, they argue that, you always have to push what worked in previous times. And then I see a lot of things where it's like, oh, well, this audience likes it, but not the big audience. It's better to have an audience that likes something than something that a theoretical audience might like. If they're not watching it, and they're not going to watch it, who cares what they like? You need an audience that likes something. So if you have something that people like, go with it. Instead of like, well, we got to push something else that worked 30 years ago because it worked 30 years ago. It's got to work today, but it might not. Who knows?
Jack, you know what doesn't change?
What's that?
Jim Cornette.
That's true. He does not change. I heard Disco Inferno say something interesting. He said, back in the 80s, because Jim Cornette talks about things are silly today. He's like, there was guys who thought Jim Cornette with the pastel suits hitting people with a tennis racket was silly then, because it was silly compared to something they saw in the 1970s. So, that there's people who thought the Midnight Express did too many high spots. There's always going to be people from other eras that don't agree with something you're doing today. I mean, personally, do I prefer the wrestling of 1980s? Yeah, but either I have to accept this is how wrestling is and enjoy what I like, or just don't watch it anymore.
Yeah. Now, I was also a wrestling fan of the 70s and the 80s. Yeah, I saw Hulk Hogan. Actually, first time was in the WWF, and then he went to the AWA. and they made him what he is. But like, I have old tapes of 80s wrestling in the AWA, and looking at it now in 2010, 2015, 2020, it is boring wrestling. I've got to admit.
Yeah.
Although I didn't actually, but at the time that I started watching it in the 70s and then into the 80s with like, even with Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, when they started in the AWA, it was more entertaining and more exciting than like NWA Jim Crockett, or well, this is my 15-year-old
I personally like the Crockett
self might have thought, 20-year-old self might have thought that it was more entertaining, more exciting. And what you're saying about what worked 30 years ago, working today, Hulk Hogan, if Hulk Hogan, AWA Hulk Hogan, you transplant him before he became Hulk Hogan, I don't know if that would have worked. Like a silent Hulk Hogan, he would have needed a mouthpiece. He needed to talk. He needed to learn how to, let me tell you something, brother. He needed to learn how to do that to, take that next step. And same thing with this guy. What I brought up earlier this week about Orange Cassidy, that was a great match. I think, yeah, they should push him. They should build him up a little bit more. But what I asked was, has anybody ever heard this guy talk? Has anyone even like cut one single promo?
The thing is, they built up to him doing a spot, and then when he did a spot, it got over big. They built it up for quite a while before he had an actual match, and then when he did, because I was there live, the crowd went crazy. So maybe they're building up to eventually when he talks and when he actually grabs the mic and actually speaks. Could be a big, I don't know. I have no idea because I've never seen him before he was in AEW, but I like him so far. People who say he's too small and stuff, I don't really think that's in anyone's mind. And who the majority of people, like I understand people who grew up watching wrestling, that might bother them. I don't really think it's anyone cares who are fans today. It just isn't. Even if you look at other sports, because it used to be, in like professional boxing, the heavyweight champion of the world was the main deal. Everyone else was secondary, but it was the heavyweight champion of the world. That's not the same today. All the draws in boxing are lighter weight guys because they want the faster paced, more exciting fights. I mean, it used to be everyone knew whoever the world champ, the heavyweight champion was. Like hardly anybody knows him today. I know when the guy who had the belt for like 6 years lost to the kind of fat guy, like people were but I didn't know who he was, and most people I knew didn't know who he was. It's just it's a different time. I mean, women was a huge draw in UFC. Years ago, that wouldn't have happened. So you can't just be like, well, that used to not be popular, so it can never be popular.
On the AEW YouTube channel, there is a cooking show with Brandy Rhodes.
Really?
It's about a shot of brandy. And Orange Cassidy is one of her guests for one episode, and he does break character for that. That's the only time I've seen him break character.
Really?
So if you want to hear him talk, Steven, you can look that up.
Was he any good? Did he have charisma on the mic?
He honestly didn't stand out. He seemed kind of shy.
Okay. I personally like him just being
I still
silent.
like him, but that's how he came out. He was fine. He was likable, but
some people are different, though. Maybe he can turn up for. I don't know. We'll find out eventually, I assume. Al Oop says Orange Cassidy used to be the fire ant in the colony for Chikara.
He had John Moxley on, and he was obviously in character. He was turned on. Orange Cassidy wasn't, so maybe he does have that on switch for when he's wants to put it on. He can. You don't know from that.
Right. Songman, what were some of the highlights of the wrestling for you?
I mean, I have. What are you talking about, this year or the past?
Or just this last week?
Nothing. I'm just glad I haven't been watching SmackDown for the past 2 weeks because I know for sure this hasn't even worked once since moving to Fox and everything for like a whole month. And I don't think there's given us many memories in a month. But I would say like maybe, even though I know Steven said it's not really like what it is, what it's boring. But Steven, did you at all catch Backlash when they had that audio playing? And just for one reason, because they wanted to make this like a Saudi Arabia being the greatest match ever, because that audio was faking it to make this big.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Saturday afternoon wrestling back in the 80s when WWF at the time used to use that on their syndicated television shows. Yeah. And I knew it was like what it was because I kept hearing the same audio crowd noise week after week. And it did. It might have worked back in the 80s, but like in 2020, it's just like I just rolled my eyes at what they were doing, because it was like it reeked of desperation to try and create something. They tried it. I don't think it worked. But that was just that was my immediate reaction. Was I've seen this before 30 years ago. So
Mm-hmm.
Well, that just showed you to Vince killing McMahon, NXT killer McMahon, because that's like you said before. But all that reaction, I barely remember before NXT. So that's definitely where you gotta see Fight Forever, like I heard, and that's whatever I heard. This is awesome. That's all from Triple H's own baby. I know for sure.
Vic Schiavone, what's going on with you? What were some of your highlights of the wrestling this week?
Well, I turned into Raw and watched. This was the go-home show for Extreme Rules.
Literally, I'm going home out of here.
Well, the funny thing is the most interesting parts of the show are stuff that's not going to even be on the pay-per-view because they had Bianca Belair. A lot of people have been asking her to come back. She was on the show last night. People have been looking for Shayna Baszler. She was on the show. The big match they're building up for Randy Orton against the Big Show, they're going to have that on Raw next week. It's not even going to be part of the pay-per-view. So, I mean, it's like, and the one match that people might be interested in is this stupid abortion with the CGI that they're going to have plucking out your opponent's eye, which nobody can take seriously. And if they hadn't made that so stupid, that might have been the best. The other match, you're going to have Drew McIntyre against Dolph Ziggler. Big freaking deal.
Right. Yeah,
you're going to have...
Like, they try to push him every once in a while out of the blue, and then, like, he's a complete nobody, and then they push him again and expect people to... You can't do that. You have to build people up. You can't just, like, this week he's a top star.
Well, this is his month, I guess. But
right.
I mean, even if it was going to be you thought he might have a chance to win, who cares?
Right.
So, I mean, there's that. You've got Bray Wyatt against Braun Strowman again. Something called a swamp. What's a swamp match or something?
In the swamp match?
A Wyatt swamp.
Maybe we'll see ZZ French Man in the swamp match.
Wrestling together.
Maybe they could have made it interesting if you remember with Kane and Austin. Like, if I don't win the title, I'll set myself on fire. If this was only a one eye takeout, maybe this could have been a better story for Ray if they did this, maybe.
You think they'll...
We know for sure, but I don't know what's going on with Ray's contract.
Everyone's saying CG, but what if one of the guys just agreed to get his eye ripped out?
I have to get Minion for that. Get Haku back.
Well, maybe you could bring back PCO. He has the glass eye. And that would be something, though, if they actually did bring in a guy with one eye and they actually took it out during the match.
I think they should bring Haku in to take out PCOs.
Can you imagine though a match like you know they don't want to do anything like that's not PG, but they're gonna have a match where you're supposed to rip a man's eyeball out.
Yeah, you can't have blood. But you can let him rip the eyeball out. And it was sad because they were sitting there talking backstage and trying so hard to get people to take it seriously, and nobody would. It was just.
Can you imagine your boy Johnny Swinger in an eyeball match, Incher?
Couldn't get to his eye for the suicide mask.
Oh, see, smart. He's thinking. Can't get to mine either. That's why I'm wearing the sunglasses, protecting the eyes.
Well, first of all, let's not be too realistic right now because we know for sure if this is extreme. This is going to be an extreme first ever whole pay-per-view horror movie like we're all seeing being shown. So what's the point for being bullshit on the iMac? Something's going to be coming from a horror movie.
You know who should have came back for this? They should have brought Kane back as his character from See No Evil. He was known for ripping out eyeballs.
Sure.
Bam. Built right in. So what are they going to do? They're going to have a guy now. Whoever loses this is just going to his new gimmick is he wears an eye patch, or will they just forget it the next week and he's fine?
Well, there's rumors this may be Ray's last match, so maybe they could just like pretend to rip his eye out and then he leaves. And
You're gonna come out with a mask.
I just can't take any of that seriously.
He's wrestling. It's Seth Rollins, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if that was Seth Rollins' gimmick after that, though? He just carried around his eye. You know how, like, Jericho, or was it Nash, I think. But Jericho had someone's mask. He would carry around the mask in WCW after he took off someone's mask, maybe Hoovy.
That was Mysterio.
Was it Mysterio? Do you think maybe that could be Rollins' thing? He just carries around the eye of Rey Mysterio?
Just redoing the old thing from WCW.
Yeah. He could just start collecting eyes. He could carry around a jug. They should have. That's how they brought back Heath Slater for 1 week. They should have ripped his eye out. Would have been a good build to this match.
And you just carry the head around.
Right. Yeah, like the lantern for.
Yeah, get you Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I dig it. You have a song for a song, man?
Well, don't be a one-eyed dick because this is going to be a one-eyed prick because this is going to be a match that's just going to make us feel sick because what's the deal when it comes out to make us want to give it a lick?
There you go. Boom. Lexar came back just for a tune. He loves it. I've got to unmute Lexar. So I hit unmute Lexar. I think you have to, when I do that, you have to hit something and unmute yourself.
So I think Songman he rhymes. So I think it should call him Rap Man.
Rap Man. Huh?
Rap Man.
Maybe the poet. He's the new Leapin' Lanny Poffo.
Well, I tried to do that when Tugboat tried to take me to give it to him, and he did.
What did
so
Lanny
he did what he wanted.
Was Lanny a fan?
His old days. Just to make sure in your head doesn't get any crap, because you know for sure over a 10-plus year, this has been putting everyone on the map because everyone's been loving what you've been having because you have always been crabbing. And what do you know? You're always the best radio host that all of us love the most because it's better to enjoy the night before we get ready to wake up in the morning to eat our French toast.
Boom! Hall of Famer right there, the song man. Boom!
There you go.
Boom! I love it. I like the beard. I think it's working for him. What do you guys think of the beard? I think he's looking pretty rugged there.
No, I think it's got to end.
Really? I bet you get hot because it's hot right now. I get hot with just some facial hair. But...
Well, I am turning into the new Jackie Jones pretty soon.
Really?
That's what I'm predicting. I'm looking.
Oh, okay, I see. You're going to shave. I see.
Yep.
All right. I was wondering where that was going, but you've gotten a lot. You've lost a lot of weight though, and you're looking good.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Very good.
I'll give you that up.
Yeah, very good. So Lexar, what's been some of the highlights of the week in wrestling for you?
The highlights of the week, I'll tell you what. Keith Lee versus Adam Cole. Lee
Yeah.
versus Adam Cole. And it looks like you're trying to listen. Anyway, Keith Lee versus Adam Cole, Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. I liked it. What's interesting to me is that even the owner of AEW, Tony Khan, is like tweeting about the key demos because nice Dusty Rhodes, the creator of NXT, Dusty Rhodes. So Tony Khan has been tweeting about key demos, and after he found out he lost to his brand, lost to NXT, so he's been tweeting out key demos. That even though that he lost in the ratings, he won in the key demos.
Right. That is an actual thing, but I just it seems kind of. I don't even really care about ratings. To me, it has no bearing on what shows I like better, but I would just not even bring it up. But what were you saying, Andrew?
I was saying Dusty Rhodes created NXT, and he also created Cody Rhodes.
That's very true. But unfortunately, WWE then stole Cody Rhodes. They're like, nope, we own the rights to that.
They like to steal everything, to be quite honest. They like to steal ECW, WCW names. I hear when TNA, Impact Wrestling, or beloved Impact Wrestling, made their own ECW reunion pay-per-view, they cannot use the ECW names. They cannot use the Blue World Order. They cannot even mention the name ECW, the letters or nothing. They have to refer it to the promotion Philadelphia.
Who's this new master?
That was a weird show. Yeah, because of that.
We got a new caller here. We got a new caller here.
Orale! Viva la raza! All right.
What is your name, sir?
I believe it's the Ultimo Dragon.
Oh.
Ultimo Jacko.
We're such a big show, we get random call-ins from the Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Icon.
Good name.
It's a good look. What do you think?
Actually, I like the glasses with the mask.
I kind of think that works too.
Kind of like a Super Callow.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a. You don't see Super.
I can bring
Callow.
back Johnny Swinger and bring back Super Callow.
Johnny Swinger. What do you think about this, Lexar? Johnny Swinger.
I think he's a legend of the business.
Really?
Very underrated wrestler. Yes. Johnny Swinger.
Just because someone existed previously doesn't make him a legend.
Yes.
I think he should be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
No, come on. You're just trying to appease the Inchman. You don't really believe this.
It's a swing thing, Jack. You wouldn't get it.
So what do you guys call yourselves, big Johnny Swinger fans? You just swingers? Was that what you guys call each other?
Yeah.
Me and Lex are swingers.
Yes, we are swingers.
Everyone else is leaving. They're like, I had enough of this. Do you think Songman and Steven are meeting somewhere?
They might be swingers as well.
They both left at the same time. And then they both came back.
We're back at the same time.
It's weird. I don't know.
So, Jack, you didn't ask me my favorite, like the big moment.
I was saving the best for last. I was building it up to Inchman. Inch Daddy, Inch Baby. My friend, my amigo, my compadre, my confidant, my soulmate. Incher, what were your highlights of this week in wrestling?
Well, obviously, the biggest news in the world of professional wrestling, Taz brought back the FTW championship.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that's splitting a lot of the people. I'm not a big Taz fan. I'm not a big fan of the FTW title. I also don't understand bringing it back right now.
Exactly. Like, you don't even have enough time to pit champion versus champion, really. So you're giving Cage a belt going into a title match, which makes no sense.
Yeah, it should be saved for if he doesn't win the title. Exactly. So in some way Taz thinks he's cheated out of the title. Then you create his own title. So let's say it has a finish where it's not clear who really should have won. And he demands a rematch. And for some reason he doesn't get that rematch. So then he's just forced to create his own title. But creating your own title when you actually already have a title match does not make logical sense.
There's only two outcomes. Either he wins the belt and he has two titles, which is pointless, or he loses the match, which is probably what they're going to do, and he's got this belt even though he didn't beat the champion.
I agree. I know my buddy Chi-Town Matt, he's loving it. He's saying he forgot how great of a promo guy Taz was. And I kind of agree. I did forget, but I haven't remembered. Vic, what do you think about this Taz? Maybe you're a fan of it. I'm not a big fan. I like Brian Cage.
I was a big fan of Taz and ECW.
I was as well, yeah.
Then I watched him just get wasted in the WWE. So I'm enjoying his promos. I'm with you. It's like if he goes out tomorrow night and Cage goes out tomorrow night and he gets like a real controversial loss, then it would have been the perfect time to say, right, he got screwed. Here's the belt. He is the true champion. And
right.
That would have made a whole lot more sense than just arbitrarily giving it to him on a show that was already packed. So
yeah, and when he's going into his first title match, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you would think he's already got his title match, so all right, I'm going to go in and win this title. Why would it be like, I've got this title match, let me make like my own belt? It doesn't. I don't get it. I just think like, hey, we're going to bring back the FTW belt, but you have to build. It has to make some type of logical sense, not just throw it out there for no particular reason.
Well, he was scheduled to face Moxley, and then they had to delay it like 2 weeks. If that had been delayed longer, I could understand.
Yeah, not right.
Gets the belt a week before the match.
I really did enjoy both weeks of Fyter Fest, so I enjoyed the show quite a bit. I've heard good things about the Keith Lee. What's the guy he fought?
Adam Cole.
Adam Page. Yeah,
Adam Cole.
Yeah, I've not seen it though, so I don't know, but I've heard good things about it.
Well, that's the thing I'm really curious about, because I know didn't they actually say his contract was coming up before In Your House started?
I don't know. Oh yeah, because they're saying that he's probably going to go to AEW because that's where his friends are, and is it his girlfriend or his wife?
Yeah, Britt Baker's in AEW. I'm just curious where this is going to go for him right now. I'm a huge fan of his, but I just don't know what's going to be left for the Undisputed Era and everything.
I'm going to take a selfie here live on the show.
Everyone calls for Jack's selfie.
No, it's a running thing on the show. I don't think I've actually posted any of those, but
I did watch Keith Lee versus Adam Cole, and it was a good match. But where
Adam Cole, baby,
what's that?
Adam Cole, baby.
Yes, it was a good match, but I didn't care about it. Keith Lee won both titles. Spoiler. I like Keith Lee. He's good.
They're still saying you're low there, Inchman. Sorry.
It's okay.
So all right. So I'm gonna say this. I like Adam Cole. I actually like him a lot. But you cannot ridicule AEW stars for being small and call them all petite wrestling, and then praise Adam Cole. Because Adam Cole is a very small man, and he's I think he has less muscle mass than like anyone that's pushed in AEW. Besides like Marco Stunt, but he's not really pushed as a threat or anything. But I mean, because I've heard Cornett say that Moxley's too small, and Moxley towers over Adam Cole. I like Adam Cole, but he's a very not intimidating physique, which I don't care. See, the thing is, I'm fine with that. That doesn't matter to me. So, but you can't complain about Moxley and like everyone at AW, but then say that this guy and Roderick Strong and stuff should be stars when they're like the same size or like in worse shape.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no muscle mass on Cole.
That's my one problem with Adam Cole. He looks like a strong wind would blow him over.
Mm-hmm. And again,
he looks like a 90s really Shawn Michaels every time.
What was that?
He's always like a 90s Shawn Michaels when you look at him today.
Yeah, I think he's a lot smaller, honestly.
Yeah.
But comparatively, I mean, there was for the time. But no, I mean, he had a lot more muscles. Michaels. Someone talk about something while I take this mask off.
Well, I got a huge announcement. So next Tuesday night is a big day for me. Big day in the life of the Lexar because it is my birthday.
Oh,
it is my birthday. So, and I hope Jackie Jones, Inchman, will do something special for my coveted birthday. I'm going to try to join in on the Zoom early, so maybe Jackie Jones could do a special episode of In Your Head on the Zoom featuring my birthday. A birthday party set up by Jackie Jones, the In Your Head squad, the In Your Head higher-ups, celebrating the life of the Lexar. What do you think about that, Jackie Jones? You gonna do that?
I haven't heard any of that, but we'll bump that up to Sal McGee, the president of In Your Head, and see what he says.
Man.
So, Jack, next week is Lexar's birthday.
Really?
Yeah, next Tuesday.
How old are you going to be, Lexar? Can I
try to guess? It will shock you.
14. No, I'm just kidding. 32.
37.
Really?
I
would never have guessed that. You're almost as old as Inchman.
How old is he? Like 40? Like 38? 39?
I think.
Oh, he's one more year, including the big four.
How old do you think I am there, Lexar?
42.
Close. 44.
No.
Okay.
I probably look younger than this guy, don't you think?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
So I want to know if you're going to have a special In Your Head episode featuring the Lexar birthday bonanza. I think it'll be great. We're gonna try to go on to Zoom a little earlier than usual. We're gonna have I'm gonna tell Lexar stories. I'm gonna tell lap dance stories. We'll have wrestling trivia. I'll have questions for the Headyverse. I'll talk about the greatest lap dance of all time.
Shit! I'm looking forward to this show. Man, I hope Intra makes it.
I'll be there.
You better be.
You mean that's not true?
I'm saying I hope he can make it next week, Inchman.
Well, I guess we'll have to have happy birthday. I can't believe what I was told. I just heard Lexar's going to be turning 37 years old, and I know the more he wants than getting some In Your Head gold, because I know something that he'll just want to hold, and I know something he'll never have sold. So let's give him a big cheer, because In Your Head will give him the best birthday present of his year, and that's something he'll just love to hear from his ear.
That's the happiest I've ever seen Lexar during a Songman song.
Oh, there you go.
You finally got a smile out of Lexar while you sing.
You found the smile. Thanks to that.
I'm all about this, Lexar. You're one of my favorite people on the show, and I'm all about this. Next week is the Mighty Lexar night. The whole night will be a tribute to our friend, our compadre, our amigo, our brother, the Mighty Lexar, the legend of the Headyverse.
Yes.
And Marty
I'm in
Bjorn's
the
gonna be very
Hall of Fame
excited.
too, right?
Yeah,
That's
Hall of
fine.
Famer. Yeah, I forgot that one.
Yeah, I won so many Heady Awards.
The Heady
year-end
Award winning,
awards.
yes.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
me.
amazing.
Yeah,
Have you ever won a Heady Award? Intro?
Well, not the physical one. I won the invincible one. So
You won, yeah, you've won Heady Awards. Have you ever won a Heady Award, a Heady there, Inchman?
Yeah, I've won Heady Awards, haven't I?
I don't know. Maybe. We'll make something up for it.
I think I won Feud of the Year before.
That's true, yes. You have won Feud of the Year. I think we have, I think everyone here is a Hall of Famer.
The Hall
sure.
of Fame lineup.
It is pretty amazing. All right, anything else before we get to the questions that someone wanted to bring up? Any news or topics?
Oh, so in the news this week, Rusev announced he has COVID-19.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yep. So I wonder if is he. So yeah, I guess does that mean that Lana is off TV as a precaution? Not
You
that
would
she's
think
being
so.
used.
I mean, they've done that for AEW, but I don't know. But you would assume so.
Yeah.
Probably not with WWE. They'll just throw her right out there.
Probably what will happen. You're still very low, Inchman.
And I also want to give props to the main event of Monday Night Raw for the women's tag titles. Actually, an entertaining match.
Really?
Yeah, I agree.
Who was it? It wasn't the Iconics, was it?
Thank God, no. It was Sasha Banks and Bayley defending the tag titles against the Kabuki Warriors.
Oh, that sounds like it would be a good match.
It was a great match, worthy of a main event. I thought of the main event spot. Sasha Banks won the match with this nice move. Kairi Sane was trying to kick Sasha Banks in the head, and Sasha Banks reversed it into the bank statement, and Kairi Sane tapped out immediately. It was a good finish. A great match. They also had, I guess it was a WrestleMania main event. Rollins versus KO. KO won the match. Those were the only two bright spots of Monday Night Raw. If you choose to look for it, but other than that, like I said, I'm glad I missed. I missed the whole segment with Ziggler. Thank goodness.
I like both those teams and all four of the women, so I'm sure that was a good match.
That was a good one. Yeah.
All right. Anything else before I get to these questions, my friend?
Yes, I want to ask a Headyverse question on my own. This one's directed to Stevie Butler. I would like to know what does he and the other citizens of Canada do for Canada Day? When there's no COVID.
Well, it really is a celebration of Canada's birthday. Canada came into existence in 1867, so usually it's a lot of pomp and circumstances and parades, and you get the RCMP dressing up in their ceremonial red dress uniforms and marching, and a lot of fireworks at night. Usually there's a big celebration on Parliament Hill in Ottawa, the capital city of Canada. The Prime Minister is usually there. It is supposed to be a really big thing, but this year they had to cancel the whole thing because of COVID-19. So it was all just another day. Actually, this year was.
Oh, Canada!
Oh yes, and a lot of singing. Yeah, that too. I check out a previous episode of In Your Head when I sang. So
yeah, it was excellent. I thought.
So, but that's Canada Day. Yeah, it's Canada's birthday.
When you hear other wrestlers sing or other callers here singing Songman, do you get jealous?
Oh, absolutely
You
not.
think they're stealing your gimmick?
Well, I thought you would have had something good for you had for Steven. Just make Steven hold it in because the can of toilet paper will win. And too many poos, the can of toilet paper will lose.
I'll give up.
Yeah, now Andrew wants to move to Canada now after he's hearing about all the poop up there. He's a big fan of the pooping. Are you let
Squatty
down
potty.
into that you don't poop as much now? I mean, that's kind of like a big part of your life that's not as prevalent.
Gotta admit, I have missed doing the WV.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a problem anymore. So now when I do it, it's willingly.
Man. Well, maybe you could change your diet. I mean,
back
I want
to-
you to stay healthy,
Yeah,
but
it's a big.
I would like to ask another question. I want to know when will Insure demonstrate the squatty potty on the Zoom?
whoa, that's an excellent question.
Join my Patreon. There's already a video up.
Very well.
Yeah.
Good man. All right, let me bring up these questions. Excellent questions, Lexar. You're a fine member of the Headyverse. I support you. Do they have the flip-top heads in Canada?
That's a question for Steven.
Steven, is the flip-top heads is real?
I've never heard of that. Sorry.
What? You've never seen South Park?
Oh, I haven't watched.
Oh yeah,
South Park
when
in years.
they talk.
Yeah, but still, it was like in the first season when the Canadians had flip-top heads.
Yeah,
Big part of it.
when they talk though, they had like flip. Their heads will flip.
Yeah. What do you think of the song Blame Canada?
Oh, actually, I enjoyed that movie. I think it's hilarious.
I agree. So,
Yeah.
all right. This is open for everyone here. Marty Van Buren. With WWE having Trump, who could AEW sign to a gimmick match who also will compete for president of the United States?
Joe Biden.
I don't know if Joe Biden's going to be in the ring wrestling, but
Either Joe Biden or Kanye West, because he also
Kanye
wanted to
right.
yeah, Kanye West.
Yeah. You get
Give
Jesse
him some
Ventura in.
publicity
He can
for
run.
AEW.
They need The Rock because The Rock's saying he might run some. I think if The Rock would run, he might win. I mean, he's got a lot of charisma. I mean, not right now, but if he actually ran for president.
Maybe our very own President Clinton could come out of retirement. Wrestling
That's very
and
true.
president.
Very true. I don't think that's legal, Inchman.
Well, after Trump's done, they say it will be. So
Oh, okay.
he just doesn't leave office.
Right. It's interesting because President Clinton right now is younger than both the two people running for president, and he was president over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Shaheen wants to know. I'll call in with my questions. Do it up, buddy. Stephen from Butlertown, who's right here with us. How about a topic for the show? Favorite appearances by wrestlers in movies. I think that's a good show. We'll do it at some point in time. I like this idea. I was thinking about doing eventually when Trista's on the show here, we might do something like that. Some type
I
of
like
topic.
the idea.
Let's see. By the way, you can see Trista and I and Terrible Troy and Dan Yeager from Texas Chainsaw 3D this Thursday live on Without Your Head. It'll be fun. Nikhil Callahan. Can I ask 20 questions? Yes. Tyler Stevens. What wrestlers would Jack cast if he could put them in older horror movies? Interesting. So older ones, so like I'd go back in time and put a wrestler in a movie? I mean, Roddy Piper. I stand by Roddy Piper being the best wrestler turned actor as far as just acting goes, I think.
Yeah.
I'd put him in stuff. Ox Baker should have been in more horror movies.
What about Terry Funk?
Terry Funk, absolutely. What are you boys trying to do to me? So earlier today, I did an interview for Shock Treatment with Mel and Maddie, which is on the Dorkening, and that'll be Friday. And so we talked about Without Your Head. We also talked about In Your Head, and talked about the upcoming film festival and some independent movies I'm doing. But surprising to me, they even asked me, asked me about Terry Funk, but they even asked me about DJ Curly Bear. I was like, these people really did their homework.
What did you say about DJ Curly Bear?
I said, Matthew Fisher is one of the hosts, who's a producer, independent producer in Boston. He wants to do a music video for it, and I'm all about this. What do you guys say? Would you like to see an official
Yes.
DJ Curly Bear give me that fat ass music video?
Never pass.
Exactly. I can see Vic being a big DJ Curly Bear fan. Tyler Stevens. What wrestlers would I just did that. I'm sorry. Jonathan Jackson. Want to play 21? Okay.
Sure.
Some blackjack. I call it blackjack. Vic Schiavone, since the WWE has a restriction on real blood during matches, do you think they will CGI fake blood to go along with the eyeball extraction in the Mysterio Rollins match? I think you have to. You can't have someone rip their eye out and there's no blood at all. Either fake blood or CG. CG blood looks bad, so maybe just some stage blood.
They should have it just like gushing out like everywhere, but it never lands. It just goes out.
Right. That CG blood never looks good, even like a big budget like TV show. Like I always think it looks really bad in The Walking Dead.
Use ketchup.
Ketchup, there you go. Just use some ketchup. Old school. Duckman, do you think Dark Side of the Ring exploits the horrific past of wrestling? Interesting question. I mean, I think the word exploitation is an interesting word because every type of art exploits something. So yes, it does. But is that bad? But I think you have to make anything, you're exploiting something. Do you think it's in bad taste?
No, I don't think any of those episodes were like in bad taste. Like, I agree. Even, there were some difficult subjects to discuss, like Owen Hart's death and the Benoit tragedy. But I thought they did a very, what's a good word? Tasteful.
I agree.
Non-offensive, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just trying to come up with a good phrase.
No, I agree.
I thought they did a very good job of dealing with some very
I didn't watch
subjects.
it and feel like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What do you think, Inchman? Now I can't hear you at all.
Yeah.
Not to be in bad taste and to entertain.
Couldn't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear
I'm wondering if they're going to want to do another Ultimate Warrior kind of thing, if they're going to do an episode. Like, guess who got totally arrested once again, if they're going to do the Satami Sitch of how she was as a person, if they do this for a season 3 episode of her.
Well, I think this year in wrestling is that's like on the bottom of the totem pole in this year in wrestling for like topics for the show, because like you have so many just on the sexual harassment cases you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's a big enough star for people to know, but you could definitely do one on the dick guy. Al Ul wants to know, Rusev and Lana's parents have COVID. Do you think Lana also has it? I can't say anything publicly. Well, now we know Rusev does. So that's possible. But maybe not. I mean, just because they have it doesn't mean she does. Marty Van Buren, which WWE or AEW superstar, male or female, would you choose to sire a progeny with, and why?
Buddy.
Who? The OIB? Who? Oh, Johnny Swinger?
Junkyard Dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
now would you want the JYD to impregnate you?
Yes.
Dirty man. Well, that's very good of you. That's commendable that you'd like to carry a child. Any of you have a choice for who you'd like to have a child with in the WWE or AEW?
Bailey.
Bailey, there you go. I don't know. I think some things I'd like to do with Bailey wouldn't result in having children. Marty Van, Alu, Slammiversary and Extreme Rules are both this weekend. Who will win the pay-per-view war? And Slammiversary's on actual pay-per-view?
Obviously, it's going to win. It's the older, more prestigious event.
Even though Extreme Rules is on the network, there will be more people who buy it for $60 than buy Slammiversary.
I mean,
It's hard to run pay-per-view now after the network. I mean, unfortunately for other things, but you have to really want to see a show to get a pay-per-view now. After the network's $10.
Yeah, but doesn't AEW shows there's on Fight TV and does it?
Yeah, I mean,
cost
I
the
actually
same?
buy him, but I really want to see him. But the thing is, I think a lot more people would buy him if it wasn't for the network being $10. He also said, were you even aware that Impact was still running pay-per-views? I was not, but I'm sure Inchman has them all up on the calendar. Well, we're not hearing you at all now. Now you have no audio whatsoever.
what?
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, you were just totally muted there for a second. Unless you're just lip syncing. Oh, man. Tyler says, don't say Bailey like that, Lexar. He gets sickened. I don't know
I guess
what his deal
by
is.
that question, how dare he?
Yeah. Oh, you know what, Lexar? I wanted to tell you that I have one strip club on the Cape, which I've mentioned before, Zachary's Gentlemen's Club. And they always had a $10 lobster dinner. I've never eaten there. Never been there. But I just saw today earlier, it's closed, and it's going to become someone bought it was closed because of COVID, and now it's been sold because they're not going to reopen. And it's like going to be a hardware store or something. So there will be no strip club at all on the Cape.
That's happened to my local strip club that I used to go to. Now it's going to reopen as a sports bar with outside dining. So I'm not sure if it's going to return as a strip club again, but once there's a vaccine. But right now it's a sports bar, regular sports bar. You just come in, have a beer, or you could eat outside because I don't think that I don't have dining.
It's really strange here. You're not in Massachusetts. Bars are the stage 4, so they're not allowed to reopen bars until we have a vaccine. So it's the last thing that can reopen. But so there's a place down the street from me that I like the food, the Whaleback. They're not allowed to open at all. They can do takeout because it's a bar. But they have food. But there's a place like the Sandwich Taverna that we went to not long ago. And they serve food and have a bar. And they're open. You can eat inside. And when we were there, there's people sitting at the bar. I don't understand how this makes any sense. How can you sit at a bar in the restaurant and drink, but you can't sit at the bar at the bar? It should be one or the other. I mean, it should be all, you can have the bar, you can. It shouldn't be like, because both of them even serve food. It makes no logical sense to me. I think Inchman's trying to reconnect here.
I should be here, I believe.
Yeah. You are. You're a good man. You can leave the audio off. I mean, if you just want to do one video, and then you can do the audio. Good man, Incher. We can hear you now.
Good.
I'm glad you decided to do this, 2 hours into the show. But we can hear you very well now. It's good. That's good. That'll be good for next time, next week.
I tried some other settings, but this just worked better.
Yeah. Tyler will be very happy. He was very mad about this. But now, because he loves intro and he really wants to hear that voice.
Well, now he can for the last half of the show.
All right. Well, that's good, though. We're to the questions now, and this is really the meat of the show.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Did you have anything to add about the Slammiversary pay-per-view? Because we couldn't hear you when you're talking.
Everyone out there, go out there and buy Slammiversary, the most prestigious pay-per-view happening this weekend.
Man, I'm agreeing with Lexar over here. Rome Williams, do you think Tessa Blanchard should go to the WWE main roster, NXT, AEW, or NWA Power?
I think she should go back to TNA or Impact Wrestling where she belongs.
Man, just put all the belts on her.
She's going to be the mystery guest, mystery opponent at Slammiversary.
I think she should go to. I think if you went to AEW, you could really build the women's division around her, and plus you have her dad there.
Yeah, that would be good. Also, seeing her with Charlotte would be good. WWE probably wouldn't do anything there, but that would be good.
Yeah. Owl, is interest saving up for a Wayfair dresser?
I'm going to buy 2 on either side of me.
Whoa. We're going to have a Wayfair sandwich, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm at. Yep. Dresser, me in the middle.
Tazo's mind's exploding right now. James E. Cuckett, is that Hollywood pussy worth becoming a literal pussy?
I think that question's for Jack.
Really? I don't know. Let's talk about Owl. Is it true that Incher and Jack are going to star in a 2-man remake of No Holds Barred called No Holes Barred?
The reason that's a rumor is because I've been trying to get Jack to make that movie with me for years now. He just won't do it.
It's not working for me, brother. Not working for me, brother. I don't know if you could take the thermos. Thermos is bigger now since the weights.
It's because you don't like comedies. Don't want to do a parody.
When do I not like comedy?
You like a certain kind of comedy.
Yeah, ones that are funny. Not this bullshit that like Jason Mitten likes over on Without Your Head Page. I don't know about that guy. Glad you don't need to talk to him very often. He send you any gifts? Man?
Send me any gifts? No, the last one I think was the chocolate buttholes.
Yeah, then you just didn't even eat them or send them to me.
They got lost in the mail.
Lexar, if you received a box of chocolate buttholes in the mail, you'd be happy about that, wouldn't you?
How about chocolate clitorises?
Well, maybe I'll call up Mitten after the show and maybe he can hook you up. By the way, do you ever send this guy anything, Incher, or do you just take from Mitten?
I just take from him. But in my defense, most of the stuff he sends I don't want, but I still take it.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I know you always took it from me, even if you didn't want it.
I always wanted it, Jack.
Oh, yeah. Making me feel good there. Anastasios Theodosiadius wants to know, can you explain why Israel would shoot at the clearly marked USS Liberty? I think you're asking the wrong show. I'm not answering these questions. We'll ask this one. Why can't we get to the moon in 2020, but we could in the 1960s?
That is a question for Stanley Kubrick. So,
Songman.
Yeah.
Is it true? Did you fake the moon landing?
No, I wouldn't say I was the one to do that soon for the moon land. That's just something I can't stand.
Right. I think the real answer is it costs an absorbent amount of money without necessarily any benefit to us at the moment.
Space Wars.
Space Wars, yeah. Well, I guess we need to go up there now. Al, do you agree with Jericho? If Shakespeare was alive today, he would be writing wrestling shows.
If Shakespeare wrote wrestling shows, I wouldn't understand it.
To be or not.
I'm from West Virginia.
Man. You know what? I think he could write a good wrestling show.
Think so?
Yeah. This is a more interesting question. What if Vince Russo was around in the Shakespearean time? Would he be writing plays that we would be talking about today?
No.
He
probably would have got himself killed.
That's probably true. Anastasio Theodosiadis, aliens or Nephilim? I don't know what Nephilim is.
Yeah, I'm going to go with aliens on that one. I don't know what it is.
Anastasio Theodosiadis, if I ass tape you in the woods and no one can hear you scream or the sound if my cock ripping apart your o-hole. I don't think it's even like in English. What happened to Tazo? I used to think maybe it's a gimmick, but he's literally lost his mind. Or he's like he's really off on the crack. I used to joke about that, but I'm pretty. There's got to be something wrong with the man.
Where he's like sometimes normal, sometimes not. I would say extracurricular activities.
And you're an expert in this field. You used to work at the tank.
Yep. I just diagnosed Tazo.
Exactly. What would you do to test Tazo?
I don't think I would test Tazo.
It's probably not safe. Al, should we hold an intervention for Tazo? That's a possibility. Maybe after we do Lexar Appreciation Night next week, we'll do the Tazo.
Only if that show intervention is still on, then we'll put him on that.
I have to say, I've always been a fan of Lexar, but I think Lexar's really gold on the video shows. His reactions, they're priceless. I applaud you, Lexar. You're a very funny man. I like you.
Thank you. What do I do with the Skype now, too? Now that we're video zooming each and every week now, what do I do with the Skype? Do I get rid of it?
You can just get rid of it if you want. Because we'll be going to be using this from now on.
Awesome.
Marty Van Buren, if you were a Stalin-esque dictator of America, what would you do with the ruffians, Joey Ryan, Buck Zumhoff, and Rene Dupree? Rene Dupree, I'm not aware that he's done anything.
Well, obviously you would party all night with him.
No.
Man, I don't know about you, Inch. That's a weird answer. Well, Buck Zumhoff, I think. I mean, you could just off him.
Yeah.
Joey Ryan, I'm not gonna say you'd off him, but you could not. He's not needed, and I don't mean that like he's not needed in life. It's just we don't need to see him. Marty, I don't know about. I have no idea about what the allegations are for Rene Dupree. Marty Van.
Yeah, I've not heard anything about Rene.
Yeah, I haven't either.
He just won tag titles in Japan, I believe.
Oh, really? Well,
if
there's nothing bad going on with him, good for him. I was actually always a fan of his. If you were Kim Jong-un, who would be on your naughty list?
Now, this is a touchy subject with me because not too long ago I thought Kim Jong-un was sick and going to die, and I had to miss an episode of In Your Head.
So you were very upset about this.
I think we probably just need to move on to the next question.
Right.
Still a little.
Yeah. Do you ever get him confused with Al?
They're not the same person?
No. They're different Power Rangers. How would you hold another 100,000 wrestling show? Yes.
Yes.
Anastasios Theodosius. Oh, I'm not asking this shit. I'll ask this one. Who would you rather work with? 1-inch bicep. This is for you, Incher. Jimmy Seville, Prince Andrew, or Mohammed?
I'm going to go with Prince Andrew because he seems to know how to have a good time.
Man.
Plus, he doesn't sweat.
Is West Virginia the best Virginia?
I was a big fan of Virginia Madsen, but I got to say West Virginia is the best Virginia.
Yeah. Have you ever been to East Virginia?
Yeah, we just call that Virginia.
No. Anastasio, Wayfair, or the Philippines?
Wayfair and the Philippines.
I just say people believe some really dumb shit. John Barker, can Jack talk about coffee again? I did not have. I'm very sad because I drank all my coffee during the last show, and I did not have. I ran late. The interview went over 2 hours, and so I was late to come. And I didn't. I wanted to get here as soon as possible, even though we're still a half hour late, and I did not have time to make coffee. None left. I'm very
Jack. You're gonna have to get you a Dad's root beer.
No, it's see. I don't drink soda, even if it's sugar free. I know you're all about the calories, but there's more to nutrition than calories, and the artificial sweetener is actually worse for you than the sweetener. That doesn't mean to start drinking regular soda because it's loaded with sugar, but sugar in moderation is better for you than as natural as can be. So, like if you're eating a whole fruit, the sugar in that, or if you're maybe honey, but the more refined it gets, it's going to be worse for you. And artificial sweetener is all chemicals, and it's not good for you. But
if the calories allow it, I drink the sugar. If they don't allow it, I go with the diet.
Can I call you Sugar?
Sure. Just be sure to call me.
Incher, since Jack is Hollywood now, if he came to you and offered you a movie role, but you had to do some pushing and pulling, would you do it?
Depends on who I'm pushing and pulling and what I'm getting for it.
Interesting. So give me a pitch. Like what do you want? And what are you willing to do?
Well, I think you're offering me a movie role, and I just gotta take care of some business. Sounds good. Who am I playing?
In a real answer, just depending on who's watching this, I would not accept any offers like this. And I have actually been offered things like this even a small time producer on no budget films.
Yeah, I did hear a story that Jason Minton, your young boy, is going to be in your a movie that you.
He is. Yeah, which I'm just going to put out there. Jason really worked hard to get in this movie. I was really proud of Minton. I think Minton had a better performance than I did in the last movie.
He earned that opening scene he's got.
Mm-hmm. I think he did a good job.
Okay.
He even got IMDb cred.
Oh, nice.
Tyler says coffee's a terrible addiction. Well, any addiction is bad, but coffee, again, in moderation, is not bad for you. Even for used to be thought it was bad for high blood pressure, but only if you drink massive amounts. Anyway, we won't worry about that. The real bad thing about coffee is what you add to it. So if you're drinking coffee and you're putting a lot of sugar and cream in it, that's what's bad for you, not the actual.
I'm straight edge. I don't drink the coffee.
You drink? You don't even do caffeine. No. And would you tell anyone, Incher?
I think I just told everyone.
Yeah, you probably would. I mean, you say a lot of stuff here on the show. You don't really have too many secrets.
That's true.
Would you Me Too Jack?
No.
Good man. Good man. Would you look at him differently, knowing he wants that ass?
I've known that for 15 years.
Mm-hmm. So no. I mean,
Yeah.
When will we get the first big Zoom fight between Jack and Incher? I mean, why would we fight?
You're probably going to get it after this show is out there.
I thought about that because everything's been going good tonight, Incher, and I was thinking maybe, you get a little bipolar in you. Maybe, after the show you'll snap or something.
Yeah. Not be happy with the camera angle.
I remember you weren't happy with me sharing the picture of you last week with your gun.
Where'd you share that at again?
On my Facebook. It's down now, but I shared it. I apologize. I thought it was funny, but you were the one who pulled it out. It's not like I fabricated it.
I was ashamed of that little gun. It's too small.
I figured you'd have like a bazooka or something.
Maybe I do.
When will we get? Oh, yeah. Hopefully this gets the ball rolling. Name one annoying thing about each other. Wow. That's good. That's going to be a hard one for you to answer. Because, what is annoying about me?
There's nothing annoying about Jack. I love every bit of him.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm not even going to get to what's annoying about Incher. Just because, it's all
too much.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions coming up, and we're not going to be here all night. Would Jack and Incher hunt the Mothman?
Not only would we hunt him, we would catch him.
I'm into this idea. Me and Incher hunting down the Mothman. I think this would be a good video series.
Do you remember the time those Bigfoot hunter guys stayed at your hotel?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it was like these redneck hillbillies who hunt monsters, and we were all excited because they were in the same hotel as us. We were hoping they would join the hot tub, me and Mick, but they never did.
They were in the same hotel as you. I stayed in my own hotel away from you guys. But,
yeah, I know. You're like, I don't even want. It was like, you could stay in my room for free, and you're like, no. I was like, but you wouldn't even stay in the same hotel. You're like, I got to go across town.
Yeah. Mitten offered to give me a hotel room. I was like, no, I'm going to go pay 3 times as much to stay on my own.
Your man, you stood by your beliefs.
Yes.
Let's see here. Tyler says the honesty is kind of annoying. Apparently, I'm not only the most honest man in podcasting. I'm too honest. This is interesting, Steven. You're getting called out. Is Steven Butler too nice for In Your Head?
Oh.
I don't think so. He's a nice man. I think he ups all of our nice. I mean, we got Vic here. I mean, he can't get much nicer than Vic.
Yeah, Jack, if you're the most honest man in podcasting, then I'm the nicest man in podcasting.
I agree. I think you're a very good man. I can't see you being mean to anybody.
I think it's always
surprised. Maybe there's a vicious side to Steven.
You got a vicious side, Steven?
Oh, I suppose I do, but not on this show. This show brings
the joy out of you.
Best in me,
Very nice.
He was thinking about the bodies in his backyard while he was answering.
Very true. And Songman's a pretty nice guy too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What sort of dark secrets do you have? Are there dark secrets in Steven Butler's past?
Dark secrets? Oh, I'm afraid we're just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. Sorry. Oh, I can't talk. Oh no, my dark secrets are too dark. Can't air that here.
Keeping an eye on you, Nick. All right, everybody. Loosen up. Stretch the neck. Cleanse the palate. Time once again for Nikhil Callahan and 20 questions.
It's the highlight of every week.
Here we go. Number 1. What matters more as a fan, total viewership or demos in the Wednesday Night War? As a fan, neither matter at all to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what matters. I don't know the business side, so I can't answer that question. From what I understand, the demos mean a lot because I think it's about advertising money. Like if you have a younger viewership, you get more money. Plus, not to be depressing, but if you have a younger audience, they're going to, in theory, they'll be around longer. If you have an older audience, they won't be here for as long.
Yeah, isn't the average age of the WWE audience like in the 50s?
Right. To me, it doesn't. To me, it shouldn't matter. It should just be like your total viewership is what makes sense. But I understand that's not what advertisers look for. But as just a fan, neither mean anything to me. Just the simple fact I want the show to continue. I want all the shows to continue, even if I don't watch them. Let's see. Number 2, do you think Brian Cage should win tomorrow?
No.
I don't think so either. I think it's too early.
Yeah.
I don't think he should lose cleanly, though.
Honestly, Moxley seems like the biggest guy on the roster, so I think the belt being on him is good.
I agree. Who in AEW would you like to see booked better?
The Librarian.
Really? Do more with the
You can't tell me you like the gimmick. Nobody does.
Well, that's a good point. Maybe if you booked them better, they'd be top. I'm gonna say Brody Lee. I don't think he fits the gimmick.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Why does Cornett hate AEW so much?
I think he hates everything.
Yeah, I hate to say this, I don't think there's total honesty to his hatred. I think a lot of it is just his bias towards personally hating some of these guys there.
So do you believe the theory that he's secretly working with AEW?
No.
I don't see how he would be.
No. Because he probably does turn off a part of the audience. Because there are people who will listen to I've seen it, like people that will just, whatever Cornette says, they just kind of puppet. And I'm not just saying because there are people who just agree because they have similar, opinions. But I see people who basically change their mind depending on what he says. And not just him, but, other people that people listen to. Do you think the TNT Open Challenge buries the people that lose? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, for the title. The TNT Cody
okay.
Rhodes. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
What do you think about Cody and Sonny Kiss at this big pay-per-view they're having on TNT?
Cody and Sonny Kiss?
That's a match for Fight for the Fallen.
Is it really?
Yes. It could be a good match. They're both
I think it'd be a good match,
ring.
but I don't think because they've been building Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela as a team.
Yeah. Sonny Kiss versus Cody for the
Hey, it might be a chance for him to shine. I actually like Sonny Kiss. It'd be good because I've never seen him in like a competitive match. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to these old message board guys? Interesting. Extreme Falls. Yeah, actually a little bit. He's on my Facebook and we interact sometimes. Afro. I do not have any interaction with Afro. I think the last time was a couple of years ago when he popped back up on the Facebook momentarily. And Joe from Portugal. No interaction at all with him. Can't say I miss him.
I got rid of all of them for spoiling things for me on Facebook.
Right. What was your favorite era, Attitude or Ruthless Aggression? Definitely Attitude era for me.
Attitude, yeah.
Is Orange Cassidy a mockery to the wrestling business? I mean, in some ways, yes, but I think I like him. I mean, honestly, the wrestling business itself there is an element of all of it being sort of a mockery. I don't want to insult anybody, but part of my appeal to wrestling is it's a little silly. I mean, I know he's sillier than some other things, but I like him. He does not insult me when I watch the wrestling. I enjoy him. What are your thoughts on Meltzer as a journalist? I honestly think he's the best wrestling journalist there is. I mean, there's stuff I don't agree with, or no one's perfect, but if you just break it down, I mean, he's the most well-known. Almost all the wrestling news you read online is actually from Meltzer originally, and it's just rewritten. And his history of wrestling is really, top-notch.
I mean, when you have other supposed wrestling journalists pretty much just reading what Meltzer writes, then
right,
obviously.
Yeah, I mean, Hannibal, he just does a whole show where he reads the Observer.
Yeah.
That's very weird. I don't even know I don't know the legalities of that, because that's a paying thing. Can you legally, I'm not going to say he's going to sue him or anything, but can you legally just let's say I subscribe to a magazine and then I just go online and read it to everybody?
I don't see why not, but
I mean, I couldn't do that I don't think you could do that with a book. I don't think you could read a book, like an audio version of a book.
What if you just literally came on there and read it word for word?
Yeah, I am curious. I don't know where that would fall. Have you met him? Yes, I've met him in Chicago. Are you a subscriber? I haven't subscribed in years, but I was a subscriber in the 90s and way into the 2000s. Anyone met Meltzer?
I do.
I've met a fan at a wrestling show once that said he met Meltzer, and he said he sounded like an actual journalist.
Yeah, he stayed at the same hotel as me at once in Chicago. We both stayed in the cheaper hotel. He's a smart man. So it was at what's the name of the convention that AEW runs? I know it's not technically AEW, but Starcast. So the Starcast Hotel is a big hotel, and it was quite. No, I mean, it's not really expensive, but it was more money than a smaller hotel that shared the same parking lot. It was literally I'm not even exaggerating. 2 minutes walk. I could leave my hotel, just walk up the parking lot, and I was in the other hotel. So it made. I mean, it was like a third the price. So I stayed there. And so did Dave Meltzer. So Dave Meltzer is also a bargain shopper. Besides the fact that I actually didn't even pay for it anyway. I was brought in. But I guess the man who brought me in is a bargain shopper. Well, that's not true. He actually tried to get me a room in the other hotel, but it was sold out. And I was totally fine walking 2 minutes to save a bunch of money. When you found out Eddie Guerrero had died, how did you react? Wow. That's super sad. Great talent, big fan of his, and the fact that he really changed his life around and was on the rebound and then died, that's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, I remember I was just shocked. It was a guy you didn't expect. So,
yeah, it's very sad. Nothing but sadness in that. How long will Bruce Pritchard last as head booker?
Off and on till Vince McMahon dies.
I mean, he was gone for a long time. I think, but I think a lot of that was he was on stuff. So I don't know. It seems like they have a lot of faith in him, even with the ratings not being good. Who would have thought that Bruce Pritchard, because he is an old a guy from the territory days, would be like this guy that would do all these weird theatrical matches.
Yeah. But who even knows if he's in charge of all that?
They say he is, man. Did people at school? Yeah. Did people at? I'm sorry. Did people at? Because they said he booked the Funhouse match at WrestleMania. Did people?
Well, that's something to brag. That's something to brag about.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Did people at school during the Attitude Era actually talk about wrestling, or was it considered for losers? Well, I graduated in '94. So I graduated right before the Attitude Era started, and it was definitely for losers at that point. It was me and Pete Corey, and Michael Zielinski. I believe those were the only two wrestling fans that I knew. And Mike Zielinski wasn't in my homeroom, but Pete Corey was. So it was me and Pete Corey, the only wrestling fan I hung out with in school. I'd come in, homeroom, we'd talk wrestling. Then at lunch, we'd talk wrestling. No one else, everyone else thought it was a bunch of bullshit. I remember bringing the PWA into PWI 500 in the homeroom every year when it would come out, and we'd look at it and read it in homeroom and lunch.
But the same wasn't true for the Crockett era, was it?
I was pretty young then. I would have been like 10. I mean, no one watched Crockett when I was a kid besides me in my school. People outside of the school did, like because I hung out with a lot of older people because my brother's 9 years older. So even outside of school, I would hang out with a lot of older people, and they were into the Crockett era. And when I was real young, a lot of those, remember Troy and his friends were really into World Class. They all were a big fan of what's his name, the Handsome Half-Breed, which has suddenly become like a legendary wrestler, but no one really talked about him until recently. But I remember they were all fans of him at the time. What's his name? He died really young.
Gino Hernandez,
yeah. But when I was because I remember wearing a Macho Man shirt to school because the first wrestling show I went to, I think I was about 10. It was one of the King of the Rings. It was one Macho Man one, not when he became King, Savage. It was back when the King of the Ring was just an annual New England house show. And that was the first show I ever went to. I think it was in Providence, Rhode Island. And it came down to King Kong Bundy. It was a tournament, and it came down to King Kong Bundy and Macho Man, a Macho Man one. But at that show, I bought a Macho Man T-shirt, the old pink one that said Macho Man on it. And I remember wearing it to school, and I don't think hardly anyone knew what it meant. I was about 10. I think they kind of like joked, like I thought I was a Macho Man. Like they just took it as like I thought I was a Macho Man.
I remember growing up in the South in the Crockett era, like wrestling was so common around me. Like I didn't ever think of it as I would later on. But maybe I was just too young to know that. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it was still considered for losers. I don't
know. So I can't speak of the Attitude Era. I would think like a lot of people would have watched it then. That was the time I really saw a lot of wrestling shirts outside of wrestling events, like at the mall and stuff. You'd see people wearing wrestling shirts, and you'd see a lot of wrestling shirts for sale everywhere. That was like the only time I really remember that. Even in the 80s, like when it was big, I really didn't see many people wearing wrestling shirts.
Well, there wasn't as many back then.
That's true. The merchandise wasn't as big.
Yeah.
When ECW went out of business, how did you feel at the time? That was awful. I would say, even though like I talked about Croc and stuff, ECW I think I was the most emotionally attached to. And in the grand scheme of things, the end of WCW is probably worse for wrestling, but just that I remember that one hit me the worst when ECW ended. When it stopped airing on my local channel, I remember calling them up and wondering why it wasn't on. And I can't imagine doing that for any other wrestling or any show in general, just calling up the channel to see why isn't the CCW was on. But yeah,
you're not going to call it.
That was big for me.
Call it Fox and see why they're not airing SmackDown tonight.
Exactly. It was on 3 a.m. Saturday nights on the Spanish channel. I remember it was channel 27. I don't remember the name of the network. And so I called them up, and no one spoke English. Because that was literally the only show in English on there, because it was paid programming. They bought infomercial and showed ECW, and I still remember the ads. So they had ads like to buy their VHS tape stuff. But the local not local ads, but the ads for their TV shows, it was always Sábado Gigante, Futbolimos.
And you're just on the phone yelling ECW at them.
Yeah, don't understand. Like, no habla inglés. Do you think AEW has lived up to your expectations so far or fallen below? I really like it. I do think the only reason for me I can't even say it's fallen, but It's just without the crowd, no crowd has heard it for me. I still like it, and I think they do the best they can, but it lost a lot of momentum when you don't have crowds, and that's no fault of their own.
Yeah, I agree with that. Before the loss of crowds, though, it was exceeding my expectations. Yeah, I didn't expect much. So.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to the Blood and Guts show.
Yeah, I was too.
Do you think 4 pay-per-views for AEW is the perfect amount, or do they need to do more? I think it's a good amount. I wouldn't do more.
Yeah, until things start rolling again, I definitely wouldn't do anything more.
And I think you could do like the big shows, like they did Fyter Fest, where it just airs on TNT. What did you like about WCW during its whole run? I love WCW. Main thing I think I liked, it had so much variety.
Yeah, the height in the 90s, that was the big thing, because you look back at it now, you think Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, all those guys are just normal, but at the time, them bringing in guys from different places like that wasn't, and smaller guys too, they were the first ones to do that. So
yeah,
on that level. I know ECW did it too, but
yeah, it's a different level. So yeah, so you got these matches you couldn't see, the Super Juniors, they call them at the time, Jericho and Eddie and Dean Malenko. So you had these like amazing matches. Then you had the Lucha guys, and then you'd have some hardcore stuff, and you had some tag team stuff, and then you had the top guys doing the big NWO storyline. So for me, you had like all the best of everything. If you just had the great matches, it's cool, but doesn't really work for me. If you just had the NWO stuff, that would be fun, but you'd get tired of just seeing kind of not necessarily great matches. But when you have that all mixed up, it was great, and that's what I like in a wrestling show. I like the variety because I like all of that. I like it all for different reasons. Will you ever see wrestling rise? Will we ever see wrestling rise to the popularity of the 90s? In my heart, I say no, but I didn't think we'd ever see a second promotion either. That's doing that's on national TV and has big crowds when you can do crowds. So who knows?
It's hard to imagine that right now, but it's possible.
I don't think anyone thought it would rise in '93 when we were seeing Teal Hopper and stuff. I don't think. If you would ask a lot of people then, do you think like it'll be huge like it was in the 80s? Probably people say no. Favorite wrestling event you ever attended? This AEW pay-per-views have just been tremendous. Live, just they were awesome on TV, but live, just amazing. And thanks to Chi-Town Matt for bringing it out.
ECW television show for me.
I've never got to see ECW live, unfortunately.
I saw 2. They came to my hometown twice.
Man, came to Huntington?
Yep, Huntington. What about the rest of you guys?
That's a good, yeah.
WrestleMania 20.
You were there?
It was my first pay-per-view, my first show. It was wonderful seeing Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, that moment, which probably be abolished forever in WWE's eyes. And
even if not, it's tarnished forever. You know what I mean? Even if it's not like, even if it still airs, but there's always this weird negativity to it. You can't watch it the same as you did before.
But it was a magical moment, and it was a great night, great show from top to bottom. I enjoyed the Jericho Christian match. I enjoyed the Playboy evening gown match where they stripped down to just their bra and panties.
That you did, like, sir.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Molly Holly Tara match where that they shave off Tara's head, Molly's head, excuse me. Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, great match. Just up and down. The best pay-per-view. I watch WrestleMania 20 on the network dozens of times already. So.
Did you go there by yourself? Did you travel out there by yourself?
Not myself, by my lonesome.
Very cool.
Although I got tickets, the day I got tickets, I went with my mom because my mom doesn't want me to get into fights with other wrestling fans. So she just there to protect me.
Oh, well.
That was a long line. Long line. Even after.
You didn't get in a fight at the show, did you? Do you get into fights? I don't think so.
No, unlike WrestleMania New Orleans 2 years ago, I think drama free.
Very good.
It was the best one. And I've been to
Excellent.
4.
Yeah, that's a great memory, Alexa. Songman, what was your favorite show you've been to live?
I would say the memorable one will be the Raw Austin decide to turn his before he was ready to turn his back on WWF at the time. If you remember in Providence when he was saying, "Are you going to join the Alliance? Or are you going to join WWF?" Before they got ready for Invasion. That was the best memory one when he saved all the WWF crowd. I mean roster that night. That was a really memorable moment for me.
I was at WrestleMania 14 when he beat Michaels for the title with Tyson there. That was a really cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's really the kickoff of just, everything, skyrocketing. Vic Schiavone.
I was trying to think. I got to go to the very first show in Memphis when Andy Kaufman showed up.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a lot of fun. Now, this was when it was a straight thing. He was wrestling 3 women out of the crowd, and they started the angle the next week. But it was because he had some serious heat just sitting there going off on the crowd and the women he was wrestling. And there was nobody better at drawing heat than Andy Kaufman. That was a lot of That was a lot of fun.
What were the live crowds really like when Kaufman did his thing? Were they like really legitimately hating on him? And
oh yeah, you're talking back in the days when people took it seriously. And Memphis, the first night he was there, it was a small crowd, and they had 8,000 people show up on Monday night.
Yeah.
So as he got more into his shtick, the crowds got bigger. Till the night when he finally wrestled Lawler, they had a sellout, which for the Coliseum was 11,200. Now I didn't make that show, but the only one I ever made live when he was there was the very first one, and that was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I loved it in there. That's really cool. Steven.
So it may not have been one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, but for me, it was WrestleMania X8. As a fan, it was a lot of fun to attend that show. You had Rock versus Hogan, and
I think that's one of the greatest live matches. I'd watch it on pay-per-view, but I imagine being there, like just the atmosphere would have been, insane.
It was, as a fan, interacting with the match and just screaming and hollering, and that was one match or one experience in wrestling I really enjoyed. Like I said, the card wasn't maybe the best, but as a fan, we were just hollering and we were even right when JR and Lawler walked to the ring and think. We were just it's like we were just screaming and hollering for them even before the pay-per-view started, right up until Triple H walked up the ramp. It was just one of the greatest live experiences I've ever had as a wrestling fan.
Yeah, there's something about being there live. It's totally different experience watching TV. But I think that would have been an awesome one to be there. Just for the Rock Hogan match alone. Incher, have you played Last of Us 2?
I have not. I like my old Nintendo games best.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this as a game people are sharing because, I guess, the characters do the nasty.
Oh, really?
No, yeah.
I've seen it talked about, but I've not played it.
They have sex.
Yes.
Favorite movies from these actors? Everyone can answer here. James Franco. Everyone's favorite James Franco film.
Probably the Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
I like This Is the End.
I like Pineapple Express, too.
Seth Rogen.
Pineapple Express.
This Is the End. Bruce Willis.
Die Hard.
Yeah,
Or
first Die Hard.
or Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, Pulp Fiction. Actually, yeah.
Lexar, do you have a favorite Bruce Willis film?
I'm not really a big movie buff,
Oh, really?
but I seen I seen Die Hard, so I'm gonna have to go with that. He seems like a pretty smart ass against the terrorists.
It's
So
a good movie.
I wish we had that for 9/11, before the bombings happened.
You wish we had Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis will kill the terrorists
Yeah.
by being a smart ass and
No, I agree.
huge
We needed
action
Bruce
star.
Willis up in the plane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Harrison Ford. Wow, that's a hard one to narrow down. Some big movies with Harrison Ford. Empire Strikes Back.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. It's hard.
American
to
Graffiti.
That's a great movie too. American Graffiti. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Empire Strikes Back, but I like a lot of these movies. Either that or Indiana Jones. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the Indiana Jones.
Aliens vs. Cowboys.
No.
Figured that'd be up your alley, Inchman. Denzel Washington. Malcolm X is really good. He really if you watch Malcolm X, the actual guy, you can almost it's like he really nailed it. He's got the cadence and everything.
I'm actually a big Book of Eli fan.
Oh, really? Glory's a good movie.
I'll recommend Training Day.
That's a good movie too. Next one's very hard for me. It's Robert De Niro. He's some of my favorite movies all time. Taxi Driver is up there for my favorite movie all time. And Godfather 2. Goodfellas. I don't know how I pick out of these. Heat, really? That's good. I would not put Heat next to Goodfellas or Godfather 2 or Taxi Driver, but a lot of people like Heat.
Grandpa.
The Flockers or some bullshit. Ben Stiller.
Oh.
The parent.
Meet the Parents.
Right, I'm going to say Dodgeball.
Yeah, I'd go with Meet the Parents. I wasn't a big Dodgeball fan.
Owen Wilson. Bottle Rocket.
Bottle Rocket was good. He did one with Eddie Murphy called I Spy. I liked that one.
I liked Midnight in Paris.
I've not seen that.
It's a Woody Allen film.
Bradley Cooper. I don't know if I really know many Bradley Cooper movies.
Star is Born.
I like that movie. I know a lot of people are against it, but
I've heard that movie. I've not seen that movie.
Right, we heard the ending of it 1,000 times when we were in Buffalo. I think wasn't he also in Hangover?
Hangover and A-Team is what I remember him from.
A-Team? That's probably right up your alley, I'm sure.
Yeah, A-Team's my favorite.
No, he didn't name anyone from the Police Academy films.
Man. Because he knows what your favorite movie of them would be, whichever Police Academy movie they were in.
Police Academy 8.
Yeah.
Thank you for answering and stay safe. Well, thank you, Nikhil. You're a good man. Diego Santos has a question for Incher.
Oh, boy.
Do you know where babies come from?
Well, the stork brings the babies.
Very good. Did your daddy have the talk with you about the stork?
Yeah.
Papa Incher?
Told me the stork brings the babies.
Yeah. By the way, this is an FTR shirt, if people didn't know.
You got an FTR shirt?
Yep. Talk heavy, hit hard.
What does the FTR stand for?
It's up to you, buddy. Would you rather, this Dobbs, who would you rather, Donald Trump or Kim Jong-un?
Well, Kim Jong-un's my special little man, so.
It's true. Dobbs Dean Maya, sweet or spicy?
if I have the spicy, IWV all over myself, so I got to go with the sweet.
All right. I kind of like the combination of the two personally, but I'm probably more of a spicy guy now. I don't eat a lot of sweets. Dobbs Dean Maya. Would you rather give up shower for a month or give up the internet for a month? I'll be honest, I give up showering for a month.
Yeah, I'm from West Virginia, so that's not a big deal for me. Shower.
Yeah, so you're basically live your life or give up the internet.
Yeah. I'll keep the internet. No loss here.
I mean, does he mean you can't wash it all? Like, could you still like bathe or just even, take a towel and give?
Well, I assume I can go out back to the rain tub and splash them like I do now.
Right.
Just use those wipes.
There you go. There you go. The wet ones.
Check in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
And when they bathe you, they use those wipes.
Yeah, I had to do that for a long time. I couldn't shower for a long time.
Always get the wet ones on me.
There you go. Al, if Cleveland changes the name of their baseball team, should they rename the team to the Cleveland Steamers?
There's going to be like a train team.
Want to get on the Heady train?
I like it, yeah.
Juju would like to get on the Heady train, from my understanding. Dobbs Dean Maya. What's your favorite wrestling T-shirt of all time?
That's something everybody could answer too.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I really like the Macho Man shirt. It's the first shirt I bought. I like the old school Macho Man shirt.
Did JYD ever have a shirt?
He probably did, but not one that stands out to me. Bootio. The Bootio shirt is pretty sweet. I'd like to get a new Bootio shirt. Hello, Ryan D. Howell. You're a good man. Lexar, do you have a favorite wrestling shirt of all time? I liked a lot of the ECW shirts, too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the ECW one. The old school one that says Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, that's cool. I like and NWO shirt's very cool, too.
I bought a Sandman Budweiser shirt when I went to ECW. I still got it somewhere.
Really? Should have wore that tonight. Well, next week.
They got holes.
Oh, yeah. Because you don't wash. Vic Schiavone.
My all-time favorite shirt is the Cactus Jack Wanted Dead.
That's an excellent choice. That's my favorites, too. The Songman. You have a favorite wrestling T-shirt?
Well, I couldn't name a lot of them, but I don't think I have a necessary one. Maybe the only one I could think of is the one that wasn't on sale too long in 01 was the Jericho hockey one, if you remember that one.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say the Sin Cara one that looked like a penis that they took.
I wouldn't say that.
Right.
Oh, his favorite one is the I'm a Hugger shirt from Bailey.
I can see you wearing that.
Well, I would maybe just say one of the most recent ones would be the Man.
All right. Steven.
Oh, I agree with Vic. I think the Wanted Dead
that is a good one.
Cactus Jack one. I've got it in my closet. I bought it a few years ago, and it's one of my favorite ones right now. So. I
regret not buying that. They had it for sale at the Pro Wrestling Tees when I was there in Chicago. They had like a limited run of new ones. Dobbs Dean Maya, who do you think is the tastiest woman in wrestling today? Liv Morgan.
Yeah. Liv Morgan.
Sasha Banks, because she looks like she tastes like chocolate.
Well, why wouldn't you eat the chocolate buttholes? You could have just pretended they were Sasha Banks.
Because they were sent by Jason Minton, not Sasha Banks.
Anyone else want to throw out an answer? Lexar, do you have an answer for that? Maybe Bailey?
Yeah, Bailey, maybe. Sasha Banks. Maybe Dana Brooke, because she smells thicker too.
Dana Brooke?
Dana Brooke?
We'll have to ask Batista. Dobbs Dean Maya, watching Intra waving his pistol around like a madman last week I was scared the shit out of me. I will never ask him another silly question ever again.
You think that scared you?
Uh-oh.
I'll bring out my bazooka.
Oh, fuck. Man, he's being in business today. Holy shit.
Now, Dobbs can definitely never ask me any silly questions.
Oh, damn. Do you know how to use that one?
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to have to look it up on YouTube if someone comes running in?
I actually would have to look it up on YouTube if someone comes running in.
Don't kill your... Yeah. Don't like, blow up your Bootios box or nothing.
Yeah, I will do my best not to do that.
All right.
You going to post this all over Facebook?
That's Yahoo. What did this is Dobbs wants to know, if Intra took me out for a day, what fun things would we do?
Dobbs, I would take Dobbs out and I would humble him Sheiky style. And you wouldn't want him back after I got done with him. He'd be my young boy.
Whoa. Force it. He said, do you think you'll accept me like Jason Mitten did?
I'll accept you and you'll accept me too.
How old do you think Dixie Carter will ever be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame?
Now that's a prestigious honor that I'm just not sure she's worthy of. Really? That's only for the elite of the elite.
Sonny Siaki is going in this year?
Yeah, Sonny Siaki would be good.
Johnny Swinger?
Johnny Swinger is already Hall of Fame material.
Man.
Even though he's got a long career ahead of him. Got to get Suicide in there someday.
Suicide, come alive. How does that song make sense? Suicide don't make it come alive. It does the opposite. Ryan D. Howell says, I'm studying to become a comic book artist next year. Very good.
Good.
Dobbs Dean Maya wants to know, what does a Jason Mitten do anyway? Ask Jason. I don't know. I think he's just a good guy, I think.
Yeah, I think he's the glue that holds the Headyverse together. Because Jack and I hadn't seen each other for years.
True.
He brought us together. Strong bond.
Very true. Should In Your Head sell mittens?
I think any product line with Jason Mitten's name on it would probably skyrocket.
Yeah. Would any of you guys buy... What kind of In Your Head merchandise would you guys like to see, Lexar?
I don't know, just in your head squatty potties.
In your head, out of your ass, squatty potty.
Mm-hmm.
Vic, do you have any good in your head merchandise ideas?
I'll have to think on that one for a while.
Maybe Gummy Bears shirt would be good. Yeah.
I'd like to see a Lexar.
Huh?
I'd like to see a Lexar shirt.
That would be good. Lexar shirt. Songman, we got one?
I would just say one call for a phone. Just dial one number, and then it'll call in your room each and every time.
I like this.
If you forget the number.
It's like hit this red button. Bam. It's just all in your head. Steven, do you have one?
How about some in your head brand? That's it. No, it's too dirty to say.
Oh man, people thinking he's all nice over here. Maybe some WV.
Well, no, it's more of a tribute to some of the more racier topics you come up with like every single week.
Maybe some WV undergarment, like adult diapers.
Yeah, maybe some in your head lube or some in your head.
Maybe the Ultimate Beef brand.
Yeah, with some Ultimate Beef, maybe some Ultimate Beef lube or something like that.
Hey, we're not just in your head bed sheets. Before you go to bed, I was on in your head.
There we go. We could put Miss
Or maybe
Destiny
just
on this.
spreadsheets with Jackie Jones' face all over it.
There you go. So you could finally have me all over your body while you're sleeping.
Jackie Jones, yeah, pillowcases.
I think we need a bobblehead song man that just says little rhymes.
I like that. Jason Minton, what's your most favorite song ever?
Ooh.
A Man Called Sting.
I'm going to admit something here to you, Jack, that I've never said before, but I think it's time.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite song ever, wrestling or otherwise, Bound for Glory.
Wow, I'm glad you're coming clean here and admitting that.
I'm glad to finally get it out.
I meant to change my vote. I'm going to agree with you, Insure. That's probably the greatest song, not even just wrestling wise. Lexar, do you have a favorite wrestling song or just song, I guess?
Wrestling wise is from Slam Jam, Simply Ravishing.
Already? Oh, wow.
That's good, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's Simply
But
Ravishing.
outside of wrestling, it's a journey song,
Really?
but it's one. Yeah, but it's not like.
It's not Small Town Girl.
No. It's one of the most underrated journeys. Ask the Lonely.
That train going anywhere.
Ask the Lonely.
Oh, really? That's a very, very beautiful song, Alexa.
And also one more, China Girl by David Bowie.
All right, I like that song. I'm a big Bowie fan. My little China girl. All right, that's a good one. Vic Schiavone.
Favorite
wrestling song. And then just
wrestling song have to be Enter Sandman.
No, that's excellent. Best entrance. You have a favorite just song?
Can't narrow it down to just one. That's tough.
All right. Songman. The Songman's got to have a favorite song. What's your favorite wrestling?
Well, I have thousands of them. I can't name them like Vic.
Things most
I don't.
Probably the ones you sing are your favorite.
Yes.
Steve,
well, it's probably like the old Attitude Era one when with the mystery, and I always like the old After the Hard Times with Boss Man's.
Oh, I like that song too.
Yeah, well, it wasn't his hard time
trip
one though.
down to Cobb County, Georgia. Better read the signs, obey law and order, be serving hard time.
Well, it wasn't the hard times. It was his heel one that he had in '98 when he came back for his heel gimmick.
Oh, man. I don't know about that one. How about
Jack?
Steven?
Did you go to Cobb County, Georgia when you were in Georgia?
I was afraid to. I don't want to be serving hard times.
Good answer.
Steven.
Back when they were using pop songs for entrance music, I really like Living After Midnight when the Midnight Rockers used to come in AWA. I always enjoyed that. Even to this day, I still like listening to that song.
Living after midnight, rocking till the dawn,
loving till the morning, and I'm gone. I'm
gone. Yeah, that's music. I like that.
I always like that. As for an original original wrestling song made for a wrestler? I'm just trying to think. I mean, yeah, exactly. There are so many of them.
Currently, I love the Jericho theme. That would be my favorite current one.
Yeah, but
that actually wasn't even made for a wrestler to begin with.
Yeah, but that's fine. Neither was I don't know if you know this, but Metallica did not make Enter Sandman for the Sandman.
No.
What?
It wasn't.
Well, you can also add Evolution in there too.
All right.
For a group.
Evolution is a mystery.
Even like girls and cars.
What?
That?
Steven likes girls and cars.
Girls and cars.
Girls and cars. That was such a.
I can
Was
see
it
Steve
Robbie
riding down the
Dupree?
street
Is
with
that the guy's name? I'm trying to think. That was for Strike Force, Santana and Martel.
Martel, yeah.
Yeah. That was
I
like a song.
I gotta say, I'm very disappointed in Steven. How did you not pick the mounting song?
Oh no. Like I said, I mean, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
I'm handsome. I'm brave. I'm strong. I am the Mountie, and I enforce the law. You can try to run, but you can never hide because the Mountie always gets his man.
Well, how can you forget actually Jackie Jones on one? I'm cool. I'm conky. I'm bad.
There you go.
There you go.
Come John up and bad. You don't want to make him sad. All right. Who is better at cornhole? Jack or Incher?
Listen, no one can take a sack to the hole like Incher can.
I think you're probably more experienced at cornhole.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely play more cornhole than you have.
The southern Delio getting together, playing cornhole with your family. Dobbs Dean Maya, is it better to tell a person the raw truth or say it soft and gently?
I'm more of a raw truth, but it's probably better to say it soft.
I'm more of a soft and gentle man. Owl, has Incher been back to the flea market, or is he still worried about getting teased for wrestling for wearing a mask in public?
I'm still worried about getting teased for wearing a mask in public because they're starting to force us to do that now. But the flea market is calling me, and I may go soon. I may go tonight. Who knows?
Jason Mitten, who's on your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling? Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, Ric Flair. I can't. I mean, it probably should be like Bruno or Luthez, but it's before my day, so it would be like just kind of guessing. But for people I've seen, I'm going to put.
You should put Orange Cassidy on there just to fire up
Orange Cassidy. Bam, Orange Cassidy, the modern day Hulk Hogan. Do you have Incher? Do you have four wrestlers for your Mount Rushmore?
That's something the Marks ask a lot, and it's a tough one, but I'm gonna have to go with Manu. Big Manu fan. Everyone, he's one of the best. ZZ's got to be up there. Anarchia, and the last one I think I'm going to go with Ted DiBiase Jr.
Fucking sure. Lexar, who's on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?
I had to go with the wrestlers I grew up watching. So I had to go with Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair.
Woo!
John Cena and The Undertaker.
Very good.
I mean, that's not as good as mine, but, you know, he only knows what he watched.
Vic Schiavone.
I was gonna include Undertaker on mine too. Since I grew up watching Memphis wrestling, I've got to put Jerry Lawler up there. And I'd also say Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan probably. You can't leave them off.
Yeah. I mean, you can't deny Undertaker's longevity either, to be, top star for 3 decades, really.
But think about the impact ZZ had in the short amount of time he was there.
Got love for ZZ.
He even has people writing songs about him.
Hope he's got the same for OIB. Songman. Who's your top 4 wrestlers on your Mount Rushmore?
Well, it's kind of a little easy for a decade one, but maybe if I can pick the whole entire era, maybe probably would be kind of the earlier ones. Like I would say Andre the Giant, Hogan, either Savage or Austin, and of course got to add Undertaker too.
All right, those are good picks because Andre definitely should be there too. That's all good picks.
Yeah.
Steven from Butlertown.
Yeah, it's hard to just make it for all of wrestling. I mean, I've got probably Mount Rushmores for various groups, but if I had to pick all of wrestling, yeah, I'd probably add Andre, Hogan, Flair, and Vince.
Okay, that's interesting. And honestly, if you think about it, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
Interesting. Who's your Headyverse Mount Rushmore?
Ooh.
Jack, Incher.
Jack, Incher, Juju, and Prez.
Juju B and Jason Minton.
That's a good one. I like that one. Forget about Prez. He stole your video equipment anyway.
It's an inside job.
Yeah.
Ryan here in the chat saying that Tegan Knox has a girlfriend now, and he's proud of her. Very good. Or just these 4 people here, which are really 6. Since
True.
we have a new and improved Incher, will we finally see the return of Barbie Richards? Well, I'm glad that he's noticed, that you've improved yourself. Well, we're
trying to be a better person. Admit some things I've kept in for a long time.
I think that's a good step in the right direction. Well, we see the return of Barbie Richards. I mean, it's if he wants to zoom in, he's always welcome to.
I don't think he can fly to the country now. So
yeah, you don't need to actually fly here, Incher.
Oh, okay. You said Zoom.
I flew when we were in the hotel.
You did fly. You were fueled by a jar of moonshine.
That's very true. All right. Well, that's all the questions. I want to thank everyone for sending them in.
Yeah.
Very good people. I appreciate all of you.
Good questions this week.
Round of applause, my fine fellows. We will be back next week with the Mighty Lexar birthday show. Myself and 1-inch biceps. And I implore all the Headyverse out there, you've got a week. Think about it. Zoom in next week, even if you've never zoomed in before, with your favorite memories of the Mighty Lexar. I want everyone to zoom in and wish him a happy birthday. I think it'll be a very memorable night.
Especially Jujubee. I would like to see Jujubee on the Zoom.
Yeah, there we go. Especially Jujubee. Look at that smile. Yeah, he's all about it. I like it. Lexar, you're the man. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I hope you have a happy birthday next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm all about celebrating this here on the show. Anything? Thank you, Vic Schiavone, for being on. Good night.
A lot of fun, as usual.
Very good. It's always good to see you. Sorry, Shaheen, I just saw you were trying to dial in. We're actually wrapping up the show, but I appreciate you calling next week. The song, man, it's always fun.
Oh, a pleasure as always.
Steven from the Butlers. I'm sorry to interrupt you back. Steven from the Butlers. Oh, and I interrupted you again. What's your parting words, song man?
I apologize. Well, it was always a blast to be going on a new show, but hey, I'm just glad Incher's doing well with a new look, because just so you know, if you like a new look with good-looking taste, look for his face, because I see he's been traveling all around the States with his roller skates, waiting to give Lexar the TNA Championship belt to put around his birthday waist. Woo!
Beautiful. I could not have said that.
There you go.
The beard's really working for you, Incher, and I'm glad you got the sound fixed.
Yes, after half the show.
Right.
We'll see where it goes next week.
Right. So I want to thank you, Inch Man, as always, for being here.
And Jack, before we go, I just want to say all those times that we disagreed, I want you to know that I was wrong and you were right.
Again, the honesty is word off. The honesty of Jackie Jones on the Inchman, and it's good to see. It's good to see.
Yeah.
This will
I'm learning how to be
the history of Headyverse.
Yeah, I love you, man. I try to be as honest as you. So
very nice. I mean, I like you too. Love's maybe a little bit over, but hey, let's give a round of applause there. And I love Inchman and everyone out there in the Headyverse. All right, we'll see you guys all next week. If you're into horror, if you just want to tell you, we're doing a special show this Thursday. Myself, Troy, Trista Robinson, our new co-host, and Dan Yeager of Texas Chainsaw 3D, and we're going to be when animals attack, where we're going to have our top 13 animals in horror film. You've checked that out on the Watch Party and the Without Your Head group page, and it will also be we'll do Zoom, so you guys can zoom in if you like to, and all that good stuff. So check that out and go to withoutyourhead.com and subscribe in the iTunes and YouTube and all that stuff. So we will see you guys all next week. Goodbye, everyone.
bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.